The last thing I remember was speaking with. Um,
Or put on Norbert box. As I
yeah.
remind you, we're
Mm-hmm.
speaking about a strange man from the Orient,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
giving some brains to the people or something like that.
And then you brought me outside. You showed me where the corpses were.
The body,
Yeah.
yeah, in the trucks.
And then
So
I.
but the nurse arrived and or send everybody go to sleep, and then we decide to sleep.
And I remember saying that we should tell some of the people we came with
Oh yeah.
the
That's
situation.
it. Exactly.
Okay. Excellent. So, Doc Francis, you with us?
Yes, I am.
All
Just
right.
got here.
And so, then we are. You have all been able. Let me turn this on real quick. Let me get my camera on. Please start. Turn to center number 8 outside of Arras, France. The Battle of Arras has been raging for a month over multiple fronts. With your trenches, although you still hear the bombs dropping in the distance around you, thundering even at night at times. But this is the warmest, the cleanest, the safest that you have felt for
Oi,
weeks,
Tom, tudo bom?
months, years
Tudo
even,
bom?
depending on how long you have been here in the front.
Ah, não, vai até às 8
You woke
a
up
meia. Mas,
after
Milton, eu vou ser breve porque tá
typical
tarde também já,
necessary
viu?
sleep, um, and somewhat rested. Certainly, after the trauma of just getting here,
Ó,
you are still
eu vou só meio
feeling
que falar brevemente. A Mami falou pra gente hoje
your
que não necessariamente o artigo precisa estar
you are
conectado
no
com a disciplina.
longer um, feeling that death is necessarily around the corner. You wake up to a flurry of activities, as at least those of you who are injured, as nurses are moving around, the different cots in your tents, and you are feeling that at least you will be getting a bit of respite. You're lucky you realize that not all of you, those of you who are injured, are not bedridden like some of the others. And you realize that after the nurses provide you with some medicines and check in during the mornings, that you will have some freedom to move around. The area around your tents, which is a small tent city, is quite wide. Um, And probably in the morning you'll be taken out, and perhaps some extra bandages will be given to you, and there'll be some checking up on your current status. But eventually, you'll have the opportunities to roam out in the fresh air. The sweet, sweet smell of trees, maybe even a bit of grass growing in the mud, and a ability to congregate and talk. You're privileged. Some people can't walk anymore. Uh, those of you who are not injured, but you are stationed, of course, your mornings are filled with a flurry of activity. Doc Francis, right from the morning, uh, Nurse Ogilvy uh, has a morning meeting, and you are, as all nurses and doctors, are organizing at the crack of dawn, not only to take in new casualties, but to take care of those who are already in. And it is clear that Nurse Ogilvy, runs this place. You've been told, don't cross her. Sergeant Hobbs and Pierre au revoir, you are at liberty to go where you wish, as you realize during the morning. Um, and Sergeant Hobbs, at the moment, there was a lull in the battle, and there was no need to run any caravans after this morning rush. You've already seen off your Lance Corporal Jack Simmons to take care of that. All right. So, all of you have an opportunity in the morning after you've received some medicine and had been given some breakfast. Of course, it's still some type of, you know, rationing. It's at least it's warm, unlike what you were getting in the trenches. You have relative freedom to do what you would like. You no longer have any commands and no hours, at least if you are the injured. Sergeant Hobbs, at the moment, you are not commandeered to do anything. Doc Francis, you will have some aspects of surgery in the morning, but you will have some time for yourself during the day. You know this from the schedule that you've been told this morning. You woke up much earlier than the rest of the party. So, that is where you are. Uh, I am going to make a note because we do have a lot of players. I'm going to try and create a situation where we're going to go from my screen from left to right, and everyone in this kind of just order as I see it here. And then there's going to be sort of a time limit so we can be a little bit more equal in terms of our ability to take the spotlight and contributions. It's a little challenging with this many players to make sure everyone gets an equal opportunity. So, first off, I'd like to hear what some of the different injured players would like to do. Corporal Norbert Box, what are some things you would like to do today?
Well, I wake up in the morning extremely interested to know something about the bodies in the truck. So I'm going to use this time to get close and try to gather some information about these bodies because since I arrived, now that I have a little bit more of health, I think that I'm slowly thinking that the place is weird, especially because when I spoke with that nurse that was extremely nervous to talk me about the place, I think that there's something that must be hidden in this place. So I want to get close to the bodies, to the trucks with the bodies.
Okay. Uh, Sergeant Lieutenant Probish, what would you like to do this morning?
Well, first I would like to know if I got my wound taken care of.
Well, it's like this. All of you were already given first aid. You've been given multiple first aids. Then
But I was after some doctor I could see if the bullet was too inside of me. Shot
uh,
took it never down, man.
well, yes. I mean, you are scheduled for. They certainly gave you some emergency surgery, but they're still trying to finish some of that up. So, but the reality is that yes, you have been, taken care of, uh, but you are still sort of, they probably would have given you a
Morphine, something like that, huh?
yeah,
Okay,
but it may be that some of the shrapnel is in too deep, that they are not sure if they could get it out, or that they are worried about that. So we have to. There will probably be further surgeries.
okay. As since I'm an officer, official, I don't know, official rank, how to say that?
And I think you were enlisted, not enlisted. You
No,
were
I'm
a
lieutenant of.
commissioned officer.
Okay. Do I have to report to anyone? Do I have to?
You
My rank
don't,
requires me to do something right now.
because you are injured, and so you are
Okay,
basically,
but even being ranger, I don't have to talk to anyone, right?
you have relative freedom. You're here to
Okay,
recover until you're ready, until it's deemed whether you're ready to go back to the front to continue
okay,
service to your country in this war against the imperialist German Empire and its allies, um, or or you will get sent home. Uh, the prognosis is that your injury will require time, but they're not going to. They might send you to the actual hospitals all the way by the coast, but it is unlikely that you'll be going
okay.
back home to England.
I hope so. Can I go to somewhere which I could rest and not stay with these peasants?
Well, uh, I believe that two from other officers. I believe that you will be able to find some congregations of other officers
Okay,
that will separate themselves from the mere enlisted country bumpkins throughout the day. That's second. Oh, I'm sorry, second lieutenant. Okay, lowest officer. Okay, still enlisted then. All right.
okay.
I missed.
I do so.
Okay. All right. Lance Bombardier, George Monk.
Yes.
What do you wish to do today?
Well, did I recover some of my health? No. Just can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I
Okay,
can hear
okay,
you.
sorry. Okay. So I'll go outside and I'll get some cigarette smoke and observe the movement around the place, and I'll try to see if I can see some of the guys from yesterday, and mainly the crazy guy who got out of the truck to see if he's okay or not.
Ah, okay. The one who was wielding a weapon and screaming. Yeah.
Yes, that was true.
Okay. Well,
Here we go again, be the crazy guy in the party.
he's not going to be able. He's not going to be find him very. in your tent, because what happens is that you are all of you are placed in tents depending on the nature of your injury. So the people around you have similar injuries. For example, Probish is somewhere where people have had bullet wounds, and then um, Corporal Norbert Box is in a head wound tent, and yourself. But no, it was yeah, it was a head wound, yes, from artillery. And uh, Lance Bombardier Monk, you were what was your injury again?
My arms
Oh yeah, your
were
arms were
burnt.
burned. Yeah,
Yes.
so then you're in a burn tent. Yes. Um, so that's what's happening. Okay, so then you would have to take a walk around and see if people are either out and about, so to speak, in walking around in the common areas. Sorry about that.
Yes. So I'll try to see if I can see someone uh, that I know. So I'm 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 smoking and trying to. It's fucking bandages. It's difficult to hold a cigarette, but uh, I'm a bit tense, so I walk and try to see the movement and search for someone that I know.
Okay, uh, Father Au revoir. Uh, what are you doing today?
I remember the last session. I think said I was gonna pull up a cot next to Corporal Monk. A box, I mean.
Yes, and that is where you woke up this morning.
So was he at in on his cot when I awoken?
Uh, Corporal Box, would you have waited for
Yep.
Father Au revoir?
Yes, I decided to go to the trucks, but before I want to go with my recent friend here to suggest him to go to the truck. So I wait him.
Okay.
Okay. So you're gonna go together with Box and and ask about
Investigate the.
these trucks.
Yeah, we're gonna go investigate the trucks.
Okay. All right.
But
Um,
before I go out, I believe I do have cigarettes, right? Wine, cigarettes, and cheese was my
you
things.
do. You have quite a few niceties in your
I,
which have boosted your credit rating.
I will go outside and pass a couple cigarettes out to some people smoking. So if I run into Monk, then
Okay. Yes. Well, Monk's walking around, and he's eventually tried to get himself to Box's tent. So it is very likely that you will see him.
okay.
Um, and yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So Monk, you will. I believe, right? You were eventually trying to find the tent where where the crazy guy was.
Yes.
All right. So it's taken you a while, to move around because there's multiple tents that have, you know, these injured, head injuries. But eventually you'll get there. Okay. And I'm going to pause. Okay. All right. And I'm going to go talk to Doc Francis. Okay. And we'll
Yes.
get back to you. Doc Francis. Again, your morning was filled with different types of uh, uh, checkups on surgeries that you have performed from last night, and perhaps a trickle of new injured men coming in. There was another caravan that came in. So, right from the get go, you felt yourself exhausted, right? But you did have a bit of movement and leverage, some breaks in between to save you from the constant frantic pace, of the reception. Can you tell me what you might try to be doing or what you hope to do if you get any opportunities to walk away
Uh,
from the operating table?
I would like to go to maybe a tent or somewhere where the medical staff or the soldiers would go to smoke or talk. I want to, especially if I know of a place where the medical staff goes to, like, have a break. I want to know who I'm working with, look at their faces, know who they are.
Okay. All right. Um, and then Sergeant Hobbs. Well,
Well,
what would you like to do
I,
today?
I managed to dispatch Lance Corporal Simmons off uh, to do his work. Then I managed to find the NCO mess and get the worst cup of tea I've ever tasted. So I left there, and I don't really fancy bumping into Second Lieutenant Probish or Doc Patterson because they're superiors. They intimidate me a little bit.
Hmm.
And Corporal Box and Lance Bombardier Monk uh, uh, are of a lower rank, and so I kind of don't really feel like socializing with them. So I go for a wander, see maybe I can find Father Au revoir, because we share a common interest in the Lord, and I've been meaning to thank him for his handling of the horses yesterday.
Okay. All right. Okay, so it will take you a little while because you're going to have to ask around to get a sense of. Actually, well, you've been here before, but you don't. There's tents here and tents there, and again, this morning was quite busy. It was a bit intense.
And I tend to gravitate to the tea in the NCO mess as well.
Okay, NCO mess tea, drinking, and then finding. Okay, corporal box. All right. Okay, fine. Okay. So let's see. All right. So here's we're going to happen. All right. So we are going to work a little bit backwards. Sergeant Hobbs, it is um, going to take you a bit to eventually ask enough questions after you've eaten at the NCO mess hall and drank this terrible, rotten tasting tea. Um, and shared some war stories with some of the other injured men here. You will notice that the NCL mess and the officers' mess are pretty much one giant tent. So you notice Probish a couple of tables down, guffawing in his the particular manner of his, which you've heard now, and obviously rubbing elbows with some other injured officers. So you get yourself and you ask around, and again, at this point in the morning, although people are getting up, it's sort of the tail end of long night, a long morning, and the nurses are weary-eyed and tired, and you can see them that they are kind of walking half asleep when you are able to get one of them. She tries to direct you to this location where you might find the head injury tents. There's several of them in a row. Uh, so, in this kind of crisp spring morning with a bit of light wind, fresh air for once, you get yourself over, and there's a group of men, standing in front of one of the tents. You notice that Father Au revoir is there, and Norbert Fox.
Yep.
From the other direction, but and you come in and you notice they're starting to chat with some people. But Mister,
Is
go ahead.
is it possible to maybe spend some cop talk to find out anything interesting about the
Uh,
the camp? Or?
Yes, yes, this is all. Yes, this is all possible. So, uh, during this conversation, is there anything in particular, right? Okay, so Hobbs, you're going to spend some comp talk. Norbert Box and Au revoir and Monk, because a Monk, you're eventually going to get to these guys sitting down, having some cigarettes that's being passed around, and you'll notice that the three men that you've seen yesterday in the caravan or about. Everyone seems to actually be in. Some of them seem to be in relatively good cheer, at least those who are getting a smoke and who can walk around.
Okay.
So, if Sergeant Hobb wants to do that, is there anything any of you want to do along the same lines?
Let me see. Um,
So, I would suggest you can do cop talk. You can use credit rating, right? Which is what Au revoir is using to make friends. You can use oral history. You can use flattery, or you can use reassurance. Um, Credit rating.
Assurance is for
Yeah.
what, Jens?
Well, reassurance would be to deal with some. Oral history is storytelling, getting
Mm,
people to tell their histories. Military talk, of course, is just chatting about the job. And flattery is exactly what it sounds like, buttering somebody up. So, I mean, it depends on the types of things that you're trying to do.
close to us, is there someone of the medical group, or nurse, or doctor, maybe someone?
Oh, I mean, there are nurses, going around, of course. Like I said, it's kind of the tail end of this morning shift, and a lot of them have been working through the night. So some of them you can see are bleary eyed and still covered in, their white dresses splattered with blood and other unsavory substances. And they're walking around, and it looks like they're trying to get themselves some sleep. And then some new nurses are, clearly coming on shift. So there's conversations
I,
like,
I'm with my note in hand, so I'm gathering all the information I can. This place is weird. I would like to search a doctor or something, especially a doctor, not a nurse, because I spoke with a nurse and I saw that the nurse was too nervous. I say, let's see if I can speak with someone in the higher rank. So as probably they must have a higher rank than me. I would like to use flattery to speak with a doctor, someone that could give me some kind of information about the bodies, and or anything strange that is happening.
Father Au
okay.
revoir would like to try to nudge Box in the direction of possibly interviewing the Hindu gentleman as well.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Um,
Sergeant Hobbs wishes he had some wine and cheese to offer the nurses.
and that gets a round of laughter from the group. And Monk, as you eventually get there, what are you going to do?
Well, first of all, I'd like to. I was near Father Père Revoir, so I just would like to talk to him. Um, Father,
Okay. So you guys are going to
uh,
chat. So just okay. So
okay,
just give me a second. Right. So okay. Is
okay,
there anything else you're going to do besides talking? Because I'll let you play that scene out, but I want to get to Probish a bit in a second. Go ahead.
okay,
All right. So I'm going to let you guys play that out. Probish, tell
okay.
me about the kind of conversation and what you're trying to do in the officers' mess hall.
Well, first of all, I would like to understand the situation that we are in. What happened with the trenchers? If this bombardment then caused big losses to us, if we had to lost ground the last in the last day, and what's coming going to happen?
Well, in this case, then a lot of conversation is a bit of frustration because you are several weeks in from your the initial um, offensive, which was extremely successful.
Of course.
And you were able to gain a lot of ground in the first 2 days of this Battle of Arras. There were multiple groups, including, like I said, Canadian forces. All five of the British Army are here, and they've been attacking from the north, the south, and they made a tremendous amount, actually, of gain. But they've been bogged down again. The Germans have been able to reinforce their positions, and the German machine guns are mowing down lots of men. But of course, it's necessary. It's a sacrifice that must be made for the greatness of the country. For peace will come from this. And so, what better can a man do than sacrifice their life for the good of England? Yes?
Indeed. The greatest armies in the world. Uh, do I receive any orders, anything, or just chit chat?
No, 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 no. There are no orders
Okay.
at this point, because that is not the goal. You are here really. All of them are actually quite. Some of them are quite happy to be basically taking a break, and
Uh-huh.
some of the other officers are quite serious about getting these injuries over and getting back to the line because these men, they're cowards. Some of them. He's already had to court-martial some men who have run from the lines, and there were some men that a particular officer, I will call. This will be Lieutenant Merkinson, has had to shoot himself for
Merkinson.
yes for abandoning their post, cowardice, and being traitors. Uh, as during this conversation, would you like to use any of your interpersonal skills?
Let me see. I don't think so.
So it's a situation where if you can just pause game wise, if you look at your interpersonal skills,
Mm-hmm.
yes, you can suggest how you might use them. Like I'll take a look here and say, um, you have a good,
I have a good military talk. I
you're
have.
yeah, you're intimidating. You have a high reassurance. Um, was that you? Yeah, you're pretty high in physics. Um,
Yeah, but I'm the Lord's officer in the room, and
yeah.
I cannot command anything, so that wouldn't make a lot of sense. Uh, I
I
would say I
mean,
would stand
you have
by.
a you have a credit rating of 3, so that means you have some
Some money.
thing. Yeah, or at least not money here. You might have. You still have your sense of rank and conversation, right? And you're still part of the old boys club. You belong here. But what you so part of the conversation you over here is that the last offensive, the last 2 days of offensive brought many deaths,
Okay.
and it's and the all the officers are just concerned that they're seeing and hearing that there are many, there are soldiers here that are just dying. They're not recovering, and they're concerned that they're going to need to make some calls to get some new recruits to the front because these casualty clearing centers, these nurses and these doctors, they don't know what they're doing. They're letting too many men die. We
Yeah,
need them,
exactly.
especially this place. You have no idea. I've seen they don't even have time to bury the bodies. They have them in trucks in the back, festering.
The officer that is responsible for the organization of this health camp would it be in this room
Um, let's
or
see.
someone involved?
It is possible. So, uh, if you might eventually see him coming in, and that place, the soldiers, some of these officers will actually get up and salute because this is Major Parker. Okay, and oh, here comes Major Parker, and so in this case, these are it's an odd situation because these are military doctors, right? So they hold rank, yes, but they're not on
Mhm.
the field. So there's correct me if I'm wrong, Anthony, but I think there's maybe an uneasy relationship sometimes, perhaps with the officers who are out in the field uh, and these officers. Major Parker is clearly an older man. Um,
Oh,
he's
you got it right on
got
the right on the nose.
yeah, a big bushy, kind of, big bushy mustache, and he's tall, but he's all kind of old and wrinkled, and and he's he comes in, all the men get up and salutes, and he's like, oh, yes. Well, how are we all doing today, boys? Doesn't look like we've had another good run the last couple of days. Oh, you wouldn't believe how many another caravan came in last night and this morning. I don't know what you boys are thinking out there, but this is no way to win a war. well, this morning's new next caravan. Well, there's Ogilvy's all in a fuss. Goes over and he pours himself some tea, and he just hammers back a cup. Let him wake her in the morning, huh? Well, at ease, at ease. Oh, and he sits, he kind of goes over. He sits kind of away from you guys, and he seems to have some kind of reports in his hand, some paperwork, a file that he starts, bringing out. And then you see a woman come in. I don't remember if you saw her, but the men groan as they hear her. And this is a kind of an older woman, hawked nose, Major Parker.
Yeah.
And no, yes, no, it's all going to be. What's the matter? What? Well, we've had another case. There's another loss. Two of them in the surgery this morning. Well, we need to take care of this. We're overwhelmed. And he's, you need to speak to me. That's immediately as soon as you're done. I expect you in tent number B8. And she walked off. And she does this without blinking an eye, just really without even caring. She just scolds him. And, the men are taken aback. And they kind of shake their head. They go, that woman. Actually, Lieutenant Merkinson says, well, I wish I could shoot her.
Wait, wasn't Merkinson's that?
No, Lieutenant Merkinson is the officer who said that he shot a man
He said
who
he
was
shot. I thought it
deserting.
was the one that got shot because retreated.
No. So this is So the man
Okay,
who's
no,
come,
okay.
the man who's come in here is Major Parker.
Major Parker. The woman is
It is Nurse
Nurse
Ogilvy.
Ogilvy, and she asked the major to meet her at 8. Okay.
Yes. And you remember her perhaps from last night because you heard her shrill voice screeching and shouting
surely didn't
orders
matter.
at people when you first came in.
Okay.
You did not see her, but the voice now feels familiar because you remember it. You're thinking to yourself, she sounded like some sort of screeching harridan. You'd hate to be married to a woman like that.
A shrewd woman. That expression, right? Okay, whatever. Okay. Do I see anything else from the major? to see if he isolate himself, that he's going to sleep, like sitting in the chair like an old person, or he started chatting with all the officers.
No, he's sort of put himself aside and he's buried his nose in some kind of paperwork, right? That's what you see, and you know the other you hear the other officers during kind of quick talk, they're kind of whispering to you, and he says, and they kind of say, it's disgusting. That woman,
Indeed,
she thinks
indeed.
she runs this place. She's how dare they? What does she think she is? What kind of a madhouse is this? Right? That's the kind of general tone you get from the chatter.
Great,
Okay.
because my character agree with this.
Yeah. It's all right. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to get over to Doc Francis, guys, right? And then I'm going to get over to everyone else. I'm trying to time myself here, but it's a little difficult. Okay.
Okay, go on.
All right. So to Doc Francis. Something I want you to do. You have spent the night, essentially, um, working nonstop. The other characters got to sleep, but you did not, because you were working on on all the injured people who came in on your caravan, right? Um, and it has been really overwhelming. So I would like you to roll either athletics, not roll, I'm sorry. Yeah, I would like you to make an athletics or preparedness check at difficulty 4.
Okay. I'm gonna do preparedness. And I'll spend a point. One
Okay.
bit. Okay.
No. So you are been exhausted. And this lack of sleep, and it's just nonstop. Not only are you traumatized by the number of injuries you have seen, because unlike your previous station where you were only receiving men from certain number of trenches, here they're coming from possibly multiple fronts, multiple areas along this particular battle, and the injuries are there's so many of them. So what you are going to get is that your future health checks will be at an additional +2 difficulty. So now if you have to roll a health check or something in the future, it is going to be at base 6, for example, as opposed to standard difficulty of 4, due to your overwhelming fatigue.
Okay.
Because even here you're barely able to get a break.
Already.
So uh, you do have an opportunity to stand down for 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe, in the hall, and it's just so tiring, right? What you've been doing, and you just keep on replaying everything you saw last night, and you can't get that artillery fire, that burn victim. You're not sure what happened. Maybe they got hit in a tank, right? That the that young man, broken jaw, and the severe burns. He still haunts you. So, you just even as you're trying to calm down, it just comes back to you, right? So you're able to go to a nurse's um, tent, and you have some very sleepy, exhausted doctors and nurses lying around, and you can take an opportunity to strike up a conversation. I have a question, Dr. Francis Patterson. Do you have military talk or bureaucracy?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Both.
Okay, excellent. So you what I'm just curious, how what kind of questions are you going to ask? How are you going to initiate conversation? What are you going to do?
I actually wanted to know if I could find anyone from the colony. I grew up in India, and I enjoy using my Hindi and chatting to people from there since I've left.
Hmm, interesting. Um, the doctors here, um, I mean, you in this particular case, you might see some nurses who are colonial, yes,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and so you can have a conversation with them. Sure, they'll be surprised actually if you do this.
Yeah, I'd like to
Uh,
talk to them if that's something.
yes, okay, and so I will say that you will uh, have a contact with, and I'm not gonna, with Nurse Vedekar.
Nurse.
Yeah, Nurse Vedekar.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So with so you can chat here in Hindi, and I guess what you will find out is that this nurse and all the nurses here are basically under military regulations. Although Nurse Vedekar is actually someone who belongs to the Red Cross, but she's a Red Cross volunteer who's come and been stationed here. This is common, you understand, at these casualty clearing centers and some of the major hospitals that are in the evacuation chain of the wounded. This hospital has a fair share of Red Cross nurses and uh, and nurses who are volunteers from hospitals. The the doctors are all and many of the nurses, of course, are also military.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you have a nice conversation with her, and she's kind of surprised, and she asks you how where you were and how you learned, and she's impressed. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you can tell she's very she tries to be cheerful, but you know uh, kind of she's got circles under her eyes are so dark. Right? I mean, she already has a darker complexion, but she looks like she hasn't
Mm-hmm.
slept in days. She's half nodding sometimes as you speak with her. So she tells you some things. Number one, she hates Miss Ogilvy. And she reiterates something you've heard before. She says that she's someone you shouldn't cross. All the nurses are afraid of Miss Ogilvy,
Could I
terrified.
ask her why people are afraid of her like that?
She rules with an iron fist. She's merciless, and she takes no excuses. Anyone who does something that goes against her will is assigned severe and terrible punishments, like cleaning the latrines or um, dealing with the seepage from the body bags in the trucks out back, or all manner of unpleasant and awful experiences. She tells you that if it's not obvious to you, that Miss Ogilvy tells Major Parker what to do, and Major Parker is the commissioned officer who's supposed to be in charge of
Mm-hmm.
this hospital. And of course, Nurse Vajakar is not, she is clearly from her background, she's much more of a demure woman, possibly, than even some of the British nurses here. And you can tell she finds uh, Nurse Ogilvy's behavior completely untoward.
Completely what? Sorry.
Untoward, completely unacceptable. Women shouldn't act like that. She
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
know her place. It's
Mm-hmm.
disrespectful and it undermines the command structure.
Okay.
And it's clear that she shouldn't be able to do so. That's not what the regulations say. She's not following the command structure. I'm afraid that it's going to cause this might cause troubles in the hospital. Maybe it won't run well. Maybe that's sometimes where we're having some problems.
What type of
And
problems have we been having more than just having a load of corpses coming every day here?
oh, um, she says that. Mm, well, it, it's. I think there's just too many people coming in. It's just too much. We can't handle all of it. Um, and it's really overwhelming. And she starts actually crying. Actually, now
Mhm.
you ask her, she's like, "There's so much death. It is terrible. I don't know what to do. It's no matter what I do, no matter what we do, more of them come, and so many die. We don't have time to even bury them." Um,
Oh,
and she says, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It is so difficult. Um, but I will tell you who is a good friend, someone you can trust. It is not Miss Ogilvy, but it is Nurse Borden, uh, Zena. She a good person. Yes, everything she does is perfect. She is my star. I wish to follow her. Everyone loves her, not like Ogilvy. Uh, and
mhm.
she is the only worst person who Ogilvy does not bother.
Okay. Could you type her name too for me, please?
Yes, Zena Borden. Uh, but she also here mentions something, and and um, and also it is good because she is open-minded. Um, there is a soldier who works with her, Gurdip. Mm, mm. I don't know how Ogilvy lets him, but he has promised and made himself her helper. He is a good man. I believe he is possibly from perhaps Goa.
Mm,
So if you want to practice your Hindi, you can practice with him.
for sure. You know where they usually are stated? I don't have a lot of time, so I would just go straight to them when I
uh,
can.
yeah, and so it's like, well, I sure you will see him around. And then you hear right behind you, right at the opening of the tent, the screech of Nurse Ogilvy. Break time is over! You must get yourself! Hurry! There are more men to be taken care of! The work is never done! Come now! There is no time for slacking!
Okay.
And Vajikar gives her hands up,
Veggies.
and she says, "We must continue. It was good to talk with you."
It was really good to talk to you, Redcar. I'll try and hold her hand and say to her, I know it is hard. I've been here for way less time than you, but this is our duty. If we're not here to help those hopeless men, who's gonna do it, right? Hanging there,
Yes, yes.
and I'll leave.
Okay. Um. All right, gentlemen. You are. Well, Francis has been taking this. You have been chatting up a group of men who have come about. Um, and all the injured. As soon as I maybe some people spread the word maybe to another tent because as soon as I heard there was some smokes coming around, everyone sort of gathered here, right? And so there's a there's a couple of soldiers, and one of them is extremely happy that you've got some cigarettes, and has many of them, I should say. been happily um, taken some in. So I was going to say here in a moment, the I'm going to give you a name. Okay. Um, so one of the soldiers who seems to be quite enthused and very talkative with you, Father Leroy. His name is Maurice, right? And Maurice is, um, his eyes lit up, when he sees you passing around some cigarettes, and he quickly comes over. Says, oh, hey, great, yeah, thanks. Oh, uh, I need some of this. And you can see that Maurice uh, is being helped actually uh, by another man because Maurice has his face bandaged over his eyes, and you can tell the way he kind of stumbles and just grabs onto your chest, and as he's talking to you, that he cannot see. He's been blinded, but he seems to be quite cheerful and happy when he's able to get a cigarette. He sits down next to you, and he sits down next to near Monk, uh, and starts puffing away. Hobbs, au revoir, and Box. What are you going to do again? Okay, so you can talk to each other, and then tell me what else you're doing. Remind me.
Well, yeah, as I said before, I was planning to try to speak uh, with some doctor, especially
Ah,
because,
yes, yes.
especially not because of the bodies. I'm very intrigued with the bodies, and uh, well, I'm going to try to speak with some, but I
Okay.
was intended to, I was planning to use flattery because I
Yes.
was planning to speak with a doctor, real doctor.
Okay.
As I said, they had a rank,
So
so
yes, you flag down sort of a doctor, right? And again, there's a flirt. Even though you guys are sitting, there's still many men going back and forth. But when the doctor stops and he notices that Aurora is giving out, got a cigarette, and he and he sort of almost uncomfortably says, "May I join you? Just what a puff."
oh come on.
Oh, I definitely need a fag right now.
Oh, then I
Um,
ask I ask it, and day, how are you feeling, man?
well, everything here's young man. Yeah, I mean, he's a little older than you, but he's not that
Right.
much older. But he says, "Yeah, well, you're lucky you're here. You're lucky you made it. I mean, you're walking around. There's tents and tents full of people here. They might never walk
Yes,
again. You should remember that."
had a bit of luck, maybe a miracle. You're pretty sure, but I lost some friends in the trench. I still have the screens in my mind. It's a little bit tough. Um, then I asked him about. Looked at the bodies and I don't know, Kai. The bodies had some kind of strange sign or something, or just bodies.
I mean, what you saw was a military truck, right? That was, and what I mean by military truck, it's not like modern military trucks. It's very,
Right.
it's like a Model T, Ford Model T with a kind of a bigger box in the back, right?
Hmm. So
And so, but it's just stacked. I mean, what you saw is it had to be bodies. You could smell it, and it was stacked with bodies that were wrapped in white cloth, right? I mean, you didn't see any symbol. I mean, you just saw them like stacked like cordwood.
Then I asked the doctor, say, well, what are you planning to do with the bodies, with the trucks? I presume there are bodies in there, right?
And he kind of looks at you. He's like, you're asking a lot of questions. Huh?
Oh, I beg your pardon, doctor, but the question is that I lost a very close friend to me. And then I speak about my friend Jack that died in the trench. So I was thinking if I could, I don't know if you. I'm questioning about the bodies because I don't know if you gave some kind of if you're going to bury them in a cemetery or something because when this hell ends, I want to give my prayers to him, and to be sure that he's going to have a proper funeral. The soldier, as a man who died, our country, you know.
Okay. And
And
how,
I
how
presume that. So please, I'm just asking for this little bit of information, sir. I know that it's a tough day for you, so just asking if it's just a curiosity,
and he's clearly like some other soldiers are actually looking around and looking at you, talking with him because he keeps on smoking the cigarette,
Hmm.
right? Which he's supposed to pass on, but he doesn't seem to be concerned about it. And he's looking at you and he's like, hmm, look, son, I know you've seen some things out there. So have I. You've seen your friends die. I've seen men after men after men on my operating table come and die, or die after the operating table. You think you've seen death? So have I. Yes, I know I'm not taking bullets, right? But I've heard the bombs coming out here, all around here. We're lucky we haven't been hit. It doesn't stop. I'll tell you, I'm sorry about your friends, but your tale is one of many. You know how many men I've talked to who've lost everyone they've ever known out in the train. They don't care anymore. You should see the state of some men. They're beyond help. They've seen too much. I don't know what I feel like after all this death. I'll tell you what. I hope you make it out of here. I'm sorry your friend died. But those trucks, number one, it's because of the offers. It's because of the people leading out in the field. They don't know what they're doing. They're sending too many men to their death. Some of these officers out there, I don't know who they are. I don't know what they're thinking. The other thing is, I don't really know what's going on. But it seems no matter what we do, more and more men just die.
Uh,
Even when we've
sir,
operated on them and we think they're doing fine, a day or two or three later, they pass. Maybe it's just the stress. Maybe their minds break. They lose the will to live. Not like you, my man. And he pats you on the shoulder. You've got the will to live. You've made it out of here. Some men, some men become cowards there. Cowards when they reach here. They should know that they're safer, but they're not.
of course.
Watts disease. Eh, goddamned Watts disease.
But I don't know if you noticed, sir, but are you thinking that the cause of so many deaths are only because of the war? I think that this place, we need more structure to deal with the bodies. I don't know, because I'm a little bit concerned. I think that if we don't have strong, structures to protect our soldiers, we're going to break. Everybody's going to break.
Well, I'll
And
tell you something. The hospital isn't big enough. We don't have enough nurses. We don't have enough doctors. And there's just too many men coming through. And we don't even have time to bury them. Who has time to bury when there's more of them coming? The best we can do is try and save them. I hate the stink of the bodies back there. Maybe we'll get some reinforcements. And somebody will help them get out to the field and take them out of here. But until then, there's nothing we can do. Just remember, you see this? You see that back there? This is war. And he's taken the whole cigarette, right? He smoked the whole fucking cigarette. And and he basically gives you the last. He gives you like the last roach, and he gives it to you, and he says, he claps you on the shoulder, and he says, "Good luck to you, boy," and he just walks off. And you hear the moans and people cursing behind you. They start yelling at you like, "Why'd you let him smoke that? Why were you talking to him?"
Hey Kai, during
Oh.
this his rant, could I have
Yes.
asked him if the Indian priest was performing rites on bodies before or after surgery? If he knows anything about the Indian priest.
Okay. Well, yes. I mean, so like that's kind of you're the one you probably, maybe you was just trying to, while you were talking, he was talking to you, you came over and maybe showed a bit of the wine and said, yeah, here, take a, I heard all this. Yeah, take a sip. You're stressed. Right? As he's about to leave. And he's like, oh, what? Ah, yes. Uh, that soldier who keeps on walking around with nurse. Give me a second. With Nurse Borden. I don't know what he does or what he's talking about. Yeah, sometimes he goes out by the bodies. It's a strange boy. I mean, but at least he's recovered. I thought, well, like some of you, I thought he was going to die. So I don't even know how he's doing it. I mean, if it was up to me, he shouldn't be allowed.
How long
Gibberish.
how long has he been in the camp?
I don't know. Days, weeks, possibly. He's been here for a while. Anyway, well, he doesn't get in my way, as long as that counts. The second he does that, I'll let Major Parker know. But I think it's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. And he takes another swig from your wine bottle, perhaps a little bit more than you would like.
Yeah, I snatch it from his fucking hand.
And he's like,
No,
and he walks
no.
off.
No, Capitan.
Thank you, good father. Yeah, it is much appreciated. Yeah, and it says like, yes, I'm glad you're here. Well, as I was saying to this poor young man, there's much death here. And, although Father Pomble does the best he can, there's not enough. It's good that they brought someone else. These men deserve their last rites, and not some gibberish from some foreigner from the Dark Continent. He may be from the colonies, but we don't need them. Not their kind around here.
Who is Father Pombel?
Father Pomble. He's the other Catholic priest who's here. You should see him around. Assuredly. I don't think he likes that man either. I don't blame him.
Kai, can you put his name in the chat?
Yes.
And I meander back to the group. I guess I see Sergeant Hobbs and Monk.
Yeah. So you guys want to maybe take a little time to chat with each other now?
Yes. Well, I see the father. I'd like to... Father, could I ask you a favor, please?
What is it?
Well, Father, you see, a good friend of mine died a couple of days ago, and all I got from him is this picture. So I take the picture from my pocket, from his wife, and I deliver to the father. And could you please bless this picture? That's all I have from him. And I was in the middle of shooting, and I had no time to say goodbye. It was devastating.
I will bless this picture if this will soothe you.
Thank you, Father. And
Just
what was
Shall
that
we pray?
fuzz around about the doctor?
before, after the blessing, I just get close to Hua and say, "Look, I don't know what you think, but I know that this is a place, a hospital place, a place for a lot of stress. A lot of people is stressed, but no one wants to speak nothing about anything here. They don't speak. They want to speak about the bodies. They want don't speak. Get nervous when we ask about this place. What the hell is going on?
It is quite
What do
strange. Hospitals are to make people better, but nobody is
you
healing.
need?"
What are you talking about? Are you okay, lad? You seemed a little crazy yesterday.
Oh, my mind is still a little blurry, but I don't know. Since I wake up and return here, I feel that this place, I don't know, this place is strange. I tried to speak with a nurse yesterday night. She was extremely nervous, didn't want to speak with me about anything about this place. Then I spoke with the doctor about, I don't know if you know, there are a bunch of bodies in that trucks, and that trucks are there, just parked. They don't want to speak about where these bodies are going. They don't want to speak anything about the place. Sorry,
They're
Do you
this
know,
place is not a good place. This place is strange. Doesn't have a good reputation. I don't know.
I've been to a lot of field hospitals in my time, and do you know, most of them have like a cemetery annexed. But do you know, in all the times I've been here, I've never seen a cemetery. What do they do with their bodies?
Indeed. And
Maybe
just
it's far away. The cemetery is far away, so they put in the truck too. But it's strange. It's here since yesterday.
Are they
indeed.
waiting for the truck to make its capacity?
The bodies
That's
seems
sick.
full of bodies.
It can't be very sanitary leaving dead bodies lying around.
Yes, indeed. So I don't know if you know. I don't know, guys, but I'm thinking maybe it's crazy idea, but I'm thinking and get close to that truck and try to see anything.
But
Cause
what are you trying to find there? You said
no,
there were corpses.
By the way,
yeah,
I have a question. Are you guys like talking like this in front of the crowd of other men who are
I'm
sharing
speaking
cigarettes?
very because everybody was like shouting with me, as you said, right?
No,
Why
no.
you spoke with that poor man like that? So I speaking. So I'm like speaking very short, very low volume, right?
I give
Mm,
out like
mm,
two
mm.
or three more cigarettes to the crowd and usher them away and say, I want we're going to talk.
Sure. Okay. Okay. All right. Continue. Continue.
The question that I'm thinking and get close to that trucks. I don't know. I work in a journal in London. I had sometimes this desire to investigate, and I need to discover. Need to discover something. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm a bit I'm a bit I'm curious. You know, I'm curious. I just want to know.
Well,
Well,
that all sounds very strange, but well,
I've got nothing better to do. Do you mind if I tag along?
Oh, come on.
you need some help.
While while you guys are talking, you've ushered the kind of the other group away, and they sort of, they kind of like, right on, man. Thanks. Ooh, looking great. Oh, top notch, bro. You're top notch. Thanks, father. Yeah, you're a real savior. You're like a messiah. And they chatter on and are a little bit farther away from you. Well, eventually you do see why you guys are talking, and is that 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 man who's got
Oh
who's
yeah, the
got
blind guy.
but yeah, the eye guy, he's kind of like coming over. He's kind of got like a stick, and he's got somebody helping him. Come over, and he says, he kind of like interrupts you guys. He goes, oh, he looks around. He goes like, he pats you on the back, Father. He's like, oh, all good, Father. I just want to thank you. Uh, you know, well, you're a good chap, right? You're good guys, and I really like that. And you're looking out for us, and I think it's good. Look, and he looks at you. He points at Box. Don't let that doctor get you down. He's all sour and talking a bunch of crap. I'm gonna say something, boys. Something you gotta know. Keep up hope, right? Keep up hope. There's lots of people in this camp that are trying to make things right. Eh? Trying to make things right. Making good things. That doctor complains a lot. Thinks there's a lot of death. There's a lot of good things here too. Yeah. Right, I'm telling you, there's a lot of good things. Yeah. You guys are good. So just keep an eye out. I guarantee. He's overreacting. Yeah.
I just
That's-
interrupt him and say, I'm sorry, sir, but do I know you?
He's like he puts out his hand, and it's kind of like he doesn't know where it is, right? And like to shake your hand almost, right? And he kind of fumbles, and he's like, "Sorry, man. Yeah. Maurice. My name's Maurice. I'm a lieutenant in Artist Rifles. Yeah. Yep. Got myself some artillery blast right in the face. Not like you. Except I wasn't so lucky. My eyes, they're gone.
What's so good around here, sir?
He's like, he pats on the head. Don't you worry. Listen, we can talk later. I'll tell you about, why you shouldn't worry. But I'm telling you, yeah. Something good's going on here. People being put back together. It's gonna be just like before this shithole war. There's a way. Don't you worry. You're good guys. You're good men. You're good blokes.
You put a lot of trust in this place, don't you?
Listen up, boy. My friend, I've seen things. Eh? What's your name, by the way?
Corporal Norbert Bork, sir.
Yeah. Well, don't sir me. We're all here together. Yeah. I'm telling you, don't you worry. There's good stuff going on here. And I'm telling you for sure. That Nurse Ogilvy, yeah, she's a bit of a bitch. But you guys, you feeling so good? I'm gonna tell you, get yourself Miss Borden. When she comes around, give her a good smile. Yeah, she'll look at you, and she'll know. Yeah, I put a good word out for you, man. Especially you, Box. You're with me in the tent, and you, my man. You and you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like your hands are burnt. I assure you, when this is all well and done, you stick with me. It'll be like nothing ever happened. I gotta go, boys. I gotta go.
He's with his eyes with bandages, right?
Yeah, he can't
Both
see
eyes
anything.
or one eye?
Okay.
He's just got bandages right across his face.
Okay.
Fuck, how does it know my arms are burnt?
I don't know.
Okay, I actually said that.
Oh. Oh. Don't worry. I heard people talking. Overheard you. I got good ears. That's how I know you guys are a bunch of good blokes.
Can I
believe that you are
use my
permanent
assess
in land?
honesty or
That's a good idea.
can I?
Yeah, your sense of honesty.
Yes.
Okay. You can spend the yeah spend the so you have to spend the points of assess honesty here.
My only point. Okay.
Oh, if it's your only point, yeah, you can. No, it's a you can spend the point if you want.
Yep.
Okay.
Man, you're going to discover something incredible
Okay.
then.
Otherwise, I mean, I would say there's something weird about him. He seems overly cheery, and he's like, and he just kind of, and he says, "All right, I gotta go. Well, we'll talk soon. Be good." And he starts hobbling, and he calls over. He calls over the other guy, and it just he calls him, Dan, come over here, Dan. And this kind of other soldier who's also walking wounded. Looks like he's got something on his arm. His arm's in a cast. He comes up and
I
he
try
helps
to
the guy
use
walk away.
I try to use evidence collection on him to see if he has some visible or not so visible sign of anything strange or anything like that.
I mean, he definitely seems like he's walking around like he's blinded. The only thing you can tell is like, he's got bandages all over, right? And it looks like you know that this is one of the scariest things in war, right? The
Hmm?
scariest things in the trenches is getting your eyes blown out by artillery fire. I mean, it's losing a leg, get your balls blown off, or losing your sight. That's
And
awful.
and he's just to confirm, he's walking with someone helping him, right?
Yes, he's walking with someone helping him.
And
Okay,
who is and this man is as how is this man? How is this guy that is helping him?
the guy who's helping him has a like it looks like some kind of arm in a sling, right? He's limping, but again, he's walking wounded like you guys. He's got normal sight, and he kind of puts his arm around. He kind of grabs him by his. Either puts his arm around him or kind of grabs his arm and says, come this way, come this way." And so that's that. Okay, that's what happened there. Back
Did I
to
spend a point or no?
Arthur. Well,
No.
if do you want to spend the point?
Okay.
Okay, so you spend the point. He's being very evasive. You can tell he wants to tell you something, but he's kind of holding it back.
Okay.
Right. So it's not like he's lying. It's more like he's willfully omitting information.
Okay. Okay.
Because
Um,
he spoke, he spoke to like, don't listen to that, to me, right? Something like that.
no, he was actually saying don't listen to the doctor.
Oh,
So, but like in a way, you also know that he's looks like he's trying to be helpful, right?
okay.
So like when he came to you, he's actually talking very friendly. Again, he's very smiley. He's very cheerful for a guy. He's very cheerful. He's way more cheerful than most people. Um, and what you do get from so he's not lying. It's more you understand. He just didn't tell you everything, and it's like he wants to tell you.
Okay.
Almost, he's got that sense, like but he didn't. Okay.
Do we have a conversation
Okay,
about what he
I'll tell
might
the
have
guy.
meant?
Yeah, you guys can talk with each other, but give me a moment because I want to go over to Probish. Okay, Probish.
Me.
All right. Probish, you've had a little bit of chatting here and gotten some information. And is there anything else you'd like to do?
Okay, is the major approachable?
I mean, the major, like I said, I mean, this all happened like in a half an hour, an hour's past. You guys have been trading war stories, and the major seems very distracted and focused on his work.
Oh, no bother. It's already time for my surgery.
Um, um, no, I mean, no, not yet, not necessarily. You probably have the whole morning before for you to be about. I have a question. Do you have military talk, oral history, flattery, or reassurance?
I have military talk.
Okay, all right. So one of the things during your conversation that you get with the men is that uh, they're kind of like bullshitting, so forth and so on, and one of them chats, and the conversation back and forth that you get during your morning coffee, before anything else, is that most of these officers, of course, are better educated than the sort of worker, farmer, peasant boys who were enlisted. Uh, they recognize that this hospital must have been a big estate before the war. Where the tents are built around, they think must have been some kind of old farmhouse. And uh, these officers remember speaking to a doctor who's been posted to another hospital, another casualty clearinghouse recently, that some of the bits of stone and pottery found around the area were probably Roman. As a matter of fact, one of the officers kind of gets in his pocket and he takes out a piece. He takes out a piece that looks like some kind of chipped um, pottery work that's got discolored and old. And he says like, "Yeah, well, I got myself a bit of history here."
He talks with me, not to everybody.
No, he just kind of shows it off.
Oh, okay.
He's like, there's probably a bunch more where this is, sliding around here. Yeah, next time this afternoon, I'm probably gonna go looking for some more. Might be worth something. If anything, I'm sure I'll be able to show this to my wife when I get home and tell her at least I earned something in a war besides a couple of scars.
Yeah, what about my military talk that you were saying?
Yeah, so you could have military talk with the major, yes?
Yeah, why not? I can approach him.
Okay. So, all right. So that conversation was a spend of 1 military point, by the way.
Okay.
Right. So you're gonna have to spend another point if you want to chat with him.
Okay, I have 2. I'll go to 0. No problem. Do you
Okay.
roll it?
No, you don't roll. You just spend it.
Okay.
Right.
I approach the major and... Major Parker, I have a moment.
Yes, sir. Yes, please. Sit. Of course. Sorry. So much paperwork. Bureaucracy.
I salute him and I say, Major have just come here from the bombardment of the Germans, and I'm really eager to come back and take a second turn on them. I would like to know if there's anything I could help.
Well, of course, we're always willing to, give a hand about. We can always use a little bit. Surely. There's never enough time for everything we need to do.
Yeah, not to be wrong, Major, but this thing is too quiet here for me. I have been in the front line for a long time. This quietness is quite organizing for me.
Yes, I'm sure I know what that means. You got to get yourself back to the war. You're not sitting around here like a bunch of pansies. There are some soldiers here, I think, who rather they'd prefer to get themselves back to England.
That is a great feature, sir, and I'm willing to take all this for the might of the British Empire.
Yes, good. Good chap. Righto. Yeah. Well, I suppose, you're not feeling injured. It's a bit unusual sometimes for soldiers to walk about. But, there is that Indian boy who keeps on walking around with Miss Borden. Miss Borden, it's very good. Yeah, it's very good. It's fantastic. She's a real angel. Miss Borden. But she's taking this young man under his wing, and it's a bit, Indian boy can't understand what he says. It's impossible to understand. Really. Keeps on singing or saying strange things, but it doesn't matter. It's maybe like Miss Borden, you could perhaps find yourself a nurse you can use. No, Well, I can get yourself speaking with Mrs. Ogilvy, Nurse Ogilvy. She can put you to work if you want. She's got plenty of jobs. All that Ogilvy, she's a real get-goer, I tell you. Some of the men down here don't seem to appreciate what she can do. But you look like a man with a get-goer and understands. Sometimes a woman's place, well, it's merely in visiting the men, but Ogilvy's
For the best for the army, I gotta do it.
got a good sense in her shoulder. I don't know where I'd be without her.
Thank you, Major. I'll be my way right now.
and yes. Well, perhaps she'll put you in with Miss Borden. Yeah, she's really an angel. Doesn't stop. Doesn't stop. Wow.
I salute him and I excuse myself out.
Okay, what would you like to do?
Well, he said Miss Borden, right?
Well, he's in his.
He said Ogville out, but he said the nice one is the Burden.
Yes, there's there's Ogilvy, and the nice one is this Nurse Borden.
Okay, I'll go for the Burden because I don't agree with the Major. Ogville is a bitch. My character.
Yeah. Right. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna try and find her?
I'm gonna go and try to find her. I gotta try to stop anyone that I think that looks like know the place and use of my position to. Hey, you! Tell me where the Fulana is.
Okay. Well, yes. I mean, you're gonna run into some nurses, and they're all running out and about. Eventually, after some conversation, you can just use military talk. You are a ranking officer, and you will gain much more some respect here, and you will be able to be directed that Miss Nurse Ogilvy is in the leg wound area, and in one of the tents. She must be near tents section E.
Okay, section E.
Yes. Okay. And so the tents all have these letters and numbers painted, so you have to kind of wander around a bit before you get it.
Okay.
Okay. And when you get there, as you're approaching this area, you hear above the normal din of conversation and the moaning of people, essentially some kind of argument going on.
Something to solve, finally.
Okay. And what you see is that there is a tall and rather portly man with a thick black beard.
What is portly?
Fat, gordon.
Okay.
And he is having an argument with what seems to be a very short, very slight. This nurse, right, is in the middle, in between these tents, and this man is dressed with the vestments of a priest. And in this case,
Is it priest that I saw when I was put in the truck?
he's someone else.
Okay.
And you hear them, and they're arguing in seems partially in English, but mostly in French. It seems like the man is quite agitated, and he's pointing into the tent, and he's pointing at her, and he's arguing quite a bit, and she's being very calm and controlled and smiling, and she's like, and she's speaking back to him in French, and it seems her French is quite good for clearly someone with you don't know if she herself is French, but let's see your guy here real quick.
I don't know French. I don't know.
You do not. Okay, and so you don't know what's
I'm
happening.
monolingual. But this priest, he has like a red cross thing on him, or just ordinary priest? Seems
No,
like.
no. He looks like he is, like he is possibly um, a chaplain. Also,
What's a chaplain?
it is like a a type of like military, enlisted military priest
No,
or
Ah, okay,
religious.
great.
they're usually officers.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry about that, Anthony.
No, it's cool.
Wrong, wrong detail. Yeah.
So
So,
I approach them.
okay, and as soon as as he sees you coming, right, as you start getting close, he kind of straightens up and he stops because and he's like in a very accented English. Well, Mr. Borden, we will speak of this later. But please heed what I have said. It is not right. This is not what these men deserve. I know you are trying to do right, but it is wrong. Uh, excuse
Are
me.
you? Aye.
Yeah.
He goes.
No.
He goes
No,
away.
I mean, go ahead.
Okay. I use Miss Best then.
And she's like, she turns around and says, "Oh, yes, sir. How can I help you?"
I'm Lieutenant Arthur James Brabish, and I talked with Major Parker earlier, and I was looking if I could help with anything. I have some flesh wound, but nothing that could really concern or bother me and helping the wounded.
Oh, well, that's
After all the fest to be finished here, the fest will go to war again and beat the motherfucker, the bloody Germans.
oh well, sir. Well, you are mostly welcome. It's a bit unusual. I but I have a bit of pull around here, and well, perhaps Miss Ogilvy just doesn't quite know. Perhaps I can have you at least look over some men who might need some speaking to. Some of the enlisted soldiers would really appreciate a pep talk from an officer like yourself to let them know that the upper ups are keeping an eye on them and want the best for them. Um, so it would be, of course, a pleasure to include you.
Of course, miss, please show them in the way, and I shall grant those brave soldiers some pep talk.
Now, are you using any kind of particular skill here?
No,
Flattery,
just chit
assurance?
chatting.
Just chatting? Okay.
Because I'm out of military talk already.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, sometimes military talk is
Yeah,
is
because I don't have anything more really.
that's okay. Remember, military
I have
talk and
intimidation and reassurance. Nothing that could really help me right now.
military talk. Just be careful. Just so we know, game wise, I've made you make some point spends to get you like extra detailed informations or extra benefits, but a lot of times the clues are just free, right? So you could just ask, if I use military talk here, can I get something without spending it?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I know I made you spend some points, but that was because you're getting,
I'll get some privilege.
yes, maybe
Yeah,
not
totally get it. Totally get it.
not essential information, but useful information. So I hope that's okay. You understand
Yeah, of
that?
course.
So any of you can always kind of say, "Can I use this skill here?" And it can be free. All right, it depends on what you're trying to get. All right.
Okay, I follow the bird and I do what you need. Like with that, oh, okay, thank you for serving the queen, the king, George, blah 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 blah, etc.
All right. Well, she takes you inside and this tent, and she says, "Well, you can start here. There are so many injured men here. I'm sure they'll appreciate your help." And you do see that inside here, there is a man. He is clearly from the colonies, from the southern colonies. He is walking about. He's dark skinned, heavy brow, dark black hair. He's heavily bearded, and he is walking around and chattering things to the different, going from cot to cot, and speaking in their native tongue. This, kind of mongrel tongue that they speak. I mean, you know that some of these men are some fierce fighters. You have seen some of them, in the battlefield. They should, they're not to be disrespected in terms of their bravery, but their pagan ways and their pagan beliefs are an affront to God and church. And you're not sure what he's saying, but you find it odd.
Why? Just because they say, or because of the gestures they're doing?
I mean, just because what he's saying.
Yeah, because
He's just chattering in this
mhm.
unknown language,
Okay.
and
Yeah, but I don't have any problem with the language. I value courage above other things. So I go to talk to them to thank them for their courage.
okay, yeah, and you spend like part of the morning kind of chatting and talking about this.
Yeah, and I go a little weird. Despite and I talk like despite you guys not being British, but I see your valor and your courage, and that's what the British Army needs, and I'm proud of funny beside you, and etc. This kind of thing.
Okay, I mean, and so while you're doing this, the nurse is quite curious, and she sort of nurse Borden sort of asks you like, what regiment did you belong to? Well, where did you fight?
Well,
How
that's a good question.
right? And she just sort of asks you, um, and and she's very very curious about you. She says, she looks at your injuries. She's like, well, you should recover soon. Well, that's good. I'm so glad. Some men here aren't so lucky as you. They have grave injuries, injuries that you know will destroy them. Some of these men here will never be the same again. They will never be made whole. It's terrible, the war, and what it does. How it leaves men. How it leaves us. How it takes so much away from us. It's a terrible thing. I wish to make this better. But you are helping, young man. I mean, you're helping, sir. You're helping. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to speak out of order. It's just, I see so much. And I want these men to live. And I want them to be the men that they were again before the war. I wish all of us to do so, even you. This war takes a toll on us. And I know we're fighting it for the right reasons, sir. But sometimes I think, how much are we willing to sacrifice? Thank you, sir, for your help. And she kind of, after she's kind of talking with you, and she's like, keep on going on,
I thank her too. Like thank for service. I understand your doubt, and but the fastest way to end this war is fighting, and that the only way that we can finish this terror from the east of the center of Europe. I don't know how they would call, but I
the
got
Western
this kind
Front.
of talk. Yeah, that's that blunt, but sentimental speech.
So,
But do I suspect? Can I use psychoanalysis to take a look at the tone that she used? Because she's with his dog, like.
I mean, I mean, she's kind of gets. I'll be telling you, Alice. She starts getting kind of upset. Actually, she starts almost getting angry. She starts kind of getting emotional. Um, I have a question. Would you be interested? Do you have reassurance?
I do have reassurance.
Would you like to spend 2 points of reassurance?
Oh yeah, I would like. Please do it.
Okay. And so, um, all right. So she kind of talks to you and like she sees that like when she's clearly saying things that are she's you're
Unorthodox.
yeah you're yeah I mean in a sense you should be ranking above her, right? She might run the place, she's militarized, but she's a nurse and she understands it. You're a commissioned officer, right? And she sort of said what some people might think to be, I wouldn't say treasonous, but that's not the kind of talk you want people saying around your men. They can't. They have to focus on the war. I mean, but you kind of forgive her because she's a woman, perhaps. And so you kind of
A weak
are able
heart.
to
I would
talk.
my character would think.
Hmm?
A weak heart. My character would think.
Yeah. So, how might you talk her down? What might you say to her to as reassurance?
Uh, you want it in character or in general?
No, I mean, try to say it in character. What would you say?
Okay. It's better use your words are concerned in your post, but fear not. The war is gonna end sooner or later. You're gonna do a great job here. There's nothing to fear, nothing to take you down. Would appreciate if you avoid this kind of talk with the soldiers. They are quite weak, mentally and physically. I thank you to you to take this kind of talk and trust in your superior. After all, I'm a better man than most people would think. But the British Army is the finest fighting force in the world. This fight should not take much longer. Keep doing your job with greatness, with excellence, and everything's gonna be great.
Okay. And so like
Was that
she
enough? Or?
yeah, I know that's right. Yeah, she thanks you and says, "Sir, you're not. I think you understand how terrible this war is and the kind of toll it takes on people. And yes, I know I shouldn't. I don't want to say these things in front of soldiers, but some soldiers they understand. Um, they're tired of the death and the war, and they want to make this go away. They want to go back to the way they were. They want everything to go back to the way it were. And I know it's not your fault, but it's back in England. It's the politicians. They don't care. These men need hope. Give them hope. It can be a force for good. Oh, you're a good man. We will speak more. Come find me. I have things that we need to speak about, sir. I assure you.
Okay.
We can make the
Okay. At the end, I think the rain kind of turned down the connection. Can you repeat the final thing?
Yeah, she
When
says.
she started saying, "I need to talk to you," and I lost the
Yeah.
rest.
And we can make all of us whole again.
Do I think that weird? Can I use psychoanalysis to that for this?
I mean, I mean, you're a man of you're a military career man. Your family's been in the military, right?
Yeah,
You know
for
about the front
generations,
line and fighting. And I mean, part of you thinks this is weak talk. This is like these
Okay.
men. What is this? These people they're trying. What are they trying to desert? Are they trying to sneak off the and go AWOL, right?
Okay. Okay.
So I mean, you kind of like you've been talking to her, but you do find this weird, and you find this like, is she trying to sneak men off the camp and have them run away from the military? Well, that's unacceptable.
And I'm going to jack it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to talk for her later, And after finish pep talking everyone here, I gotta kind of take a look around the camp to see if there's any kind of shame like this happening.
Okay, you keep it there, and I'm going to get back to you guys, and I need to talk to Dr. Francis Patterson. Sorry.
Yeah, of course, do it.
But can you guys give me 30 seconds? I just need to use the restroom real quick. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uno segundo.
Yeah,
We'll listen to
he's
the
all
music.
into his shit. He's yelling
Okay.
at Kai.
Just give me a second. Okay, sorry, gentlemen. All right, let's get back here. All right. Um, okay, Doc Patterson, you've been, thrown back, into the thick of things today. And again, there's just more kind of many rounds of people that you have to go about. Um, at some point, you do notice this nurse coming around. She's making the rounds. She seems to be extremely positive. She always seems to be accompanied. She's accompanied, strangely enough, you have never seen this before, by a soldier, one of the walking wounded. He is uh, he is a man of colonial descent from the dark south. And here are things, so forth and so on. And that's okay. And that's this Dao. I'm sorry. This man of South Asian descent, which we didn't call it that. I mean, we just it's the colonial, dark-skinned colonial man, is going around to the different cots, and you hear him mumbling something, and it's not English, it's not French. You don't know what it is. Okay. Uh, Doc, you there? Oh shit.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah. Sorry. Did you hear me?
I heard you.
Okay.
Oh, maybe my mic was turned off. I
Yeah,
don't know
the
what
mic was off. My apologies. I just want to kind of get you back, and then I'm going to go
No
back
problem.
to you, to Sergeant Hobbs and crew. I hope you're okay with. I'm trying to maybe cut back and forth here. Maybe I should cut the scenes a little more. But
No problem.
okay. And so you're back here, and you are you. Luckily, this is not an amputation room. You're actually in one of the tents that's dealing with artillery wounds, and it's mostly shrapnel wounds.
Mhm.
And
Okay. What's
You
the
know
name of
what
the soldier
happened?
that the card told me before? I forgot the name of the soldier. Because what the card told me the other nurse was walking with a soldier assistant.
Yes.
What
Yes.
was his name again?
Um,
Or she didn't tell me his name.
oh no, she told you his name. Yeah. So then this you clearly remember. This must be what the nurse told you. His name is Gurdon. So actually, you do
Can write
can
that?
hear what he's saying, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's the
so
Hindi. Yeah, that's what I
yeah,
asked, but the
exactly.
mic
And
was
so
off.
yes, that's okay. So I kind of for a moment I forgot. And so you understand, like you hear it, and it's like, oh, yes, he's chanting a prayer under his breath. It's a prayer, and you're pretty confident. I think you've heard this before, but it's an invocation to Kali, the destroyer, the one who finishes and ends the world. He is asking for the goddess to take each of these wounded men into her care.
By knowing the culture, by knowing about this god, like she's related to the destroyer. So she related to war more than like healing for sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, Kali may has many faces, of course, but the face of Kali is partially goddess of death.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
Would I know by living in the colonies for a couple of years? Would I know of priests from that give their lives to this goddess? What type of
Oh,
inclination it have?
I mean, do you have theology?
Ooh, I don't think so. Nope.
Okay. I mean, the dark, Indian subcontinent colony is a massive mess of so many languages and this insanely complicated, barbaric. Most people would say barbaric religion. That there's thousands of gods. You know this, and there's probably people who follow the gods for anything. So yeah, I mean there could be. You're not sure, but it's a reality of this. Of this world, right? So and the way that Bengal and the whole colony area is.
Mhm.
Um,
Uh, could you write his name on the chat again?
yes, yes,
Or
yes. So
because
I'm I'm
yeah,
I'm
forget about it.
no, it's okay.
Uh,
I don't think I wrote it, and my apologies. I didn't have enough time to make little notes for these people's names. It was a
I
bit of a
I wouldn't know if like the people that follow Kali they do like sacrifices or any type of like blood ritual or something like that. I wouldn't know.
well, um,
Even if
uh,
it's like animal sacrifices or something
do
like
you
that.
know? Do you have like oral
I have a
storytelling
quote. Let me see. Oral story.
or history?
I have. Fuck. I have history. Yes.
Okay. Well then, you will know. And of course, this is one of the many dark tales of the Indian subcontinent that uh, the Thuggies were an organized gang of professional robbers and murderers that were active in the 19th century. They were um, worshippers of Kali, the goddess of death. It is where the word thug comes from. They operated as gangs. They hid themselves amongst on the roads and as trading, within trading merchant caravans, and they would rob and kill people in the name of Kali.
Mhm.
So this you do know, but on the other hand, right? You know that it was luckily it was the British Empire was able to stamp out of this barbaric and disgusting um, type of behavior, this unacceptable heresy, and brought them to heel. But of course, there's so many religions, there's so many types of worship, there's so many. Each god has so many types of depictions. It's so much. It just confuses you.
Okay.
So while you're listening and thinking, and you're sort of going around and you're kind of checking up on some previous operations. Actually, you're going up to a cot, and you operated on this on someone yesterday, and you're writing your doctor's notes. You're spoken with him. You're sort of checking. Nurse has been around, and at some point you can see that this young soldier that you operated on recently, last night, probably in part of the insane thick of it. Um, you know, uh, he was he seemed to be recovering. He didn't have a tremendous amount of shrapnel, but the shrapnel needed to be removed. That's why he had to be brought here. And on your morning round, right, it's already the afternoon, he seemed to be pretty okay. In other words, he seemed to be in a relatively good cheer. Uh, and he was, you actually saw him walking around out getting some sun near lunchtime. But now that you're here and you're kind of making your rounds, going from tent to tent, you have to check them, 2 or 3 times a day. Um, you realize he's totally he's sweating. His pallor, his face has gone white. He's breathing really heavily, and it's just his eyes are fluttering, and he's not looking good.
What are you feeling, soldier? I saw you walking this morning earlier. What is it?
His eyes are fluttering, right? And he seems to be like non-responsive. He was totally fine before. Um,
Could I touch his forehead and see
you
if
can touch
it's
his forehead. It's cold and clammy.
Would I?
I'm going to tell you. Right, you start checking him. Right.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. What else do you want to do?
I want to use my medicine to check and see if I'll need nurses or something like that. I'm thinking
Well-
he might be getting an infection or something.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you something. The injuries that he suffered, right? They should have been fatal. Like I said,
Yeah.
he had some shrapnel and it had to be removed, and it wasn't anything that was going to happen easily. In um, uh, in the advanced dressing stations, or the field ambulances. But that's why he was brought here. The clearing stations definitely has the right surgical equipment to do this. But it didn't hit anything vital, right? You couldn't leave it there because it would get infected, and he probably would eventually get gangrene and die, possibly. But your surgery was successful, quite frankly. So he should be doing fine. There's no reason this should be happening. And in fact, it looks to you like he's going through severe shock. You check his pulse. His pulse is erratic. His skin is definitely getting cold and clammy and kind of off colored. As a matter of fact, his eyes are fluttering, and when you check, his pupils are really dilated. Right? I mean, he is going into shock. But there's just no reason why this should be happening.
And he's in answering anything that I do and anything that I say to him.
Yeah, he's pretty much moaning now, and he's kind of incoherent, and it looks like he's half conscious, like he's not responding to you. And you can feel him slipping away. You can feel his pulse getting worse and worse.
Is the soldier still here? The Indian soldier?
Excuse me?
The Indian soldier that was doing his prayers. Is he still in the tent or not?
Oh, I mean, it seems like while you were checking, Nurse Borden and Dal have left.
Um,
Is there anything else? Is there any other skill you would like to apply?
okay, let me see. Uh,
Okay. Do you call
I
for
could
anyone? Do
try.
you do anything?
I could try maybe. Would psychoanalysis help me understand? Because he
No.
seems like he's going into shock.
Psychoanalysis is like Freudian, talk.
Okay. Okay.
It's
my,
yeah. So that's not going to help. I mean, so Mike, any
I'll,
let me look at your
I'll maybe
skills
call
here.
a. Well, maybe call a nurse.
Okay,
Maybe.
yeah.
Reassurance. Reassurance helps.
A reassurance is talking to people,
He's,
so
he's, yeah, he's not answering.
he's
so,
not
yeah,
he's not responding. So you understand. So that's the
Yeah.
issue. So no, okay, you call nurses and you're freaking out because you can see he's starting to have convulsions. Okay, he's starting to and his eyes are starting to flutter and his eyes are rolling back. In his head, and he's starting to kind of slightly foam at the mouth. He's spitting. Um, and so, like you try and check them, and the nurses come, and you're screaming for some nurses, and they come fluttering in from the outside from the tent, right? Because the tent was just seemed pretty calm, like this. It's just afternoon after food has been given, and they start sort of getting all sort of anxious and oh my goodness, hot water and bring them a blanket, more blankets, and you're trying to tell them things, and it's getting very complicated, and you notice something. You smell it as you kind of go down, and you're trying to listen to his chest, and you're trying to feel his pulse, and you're, trying to check his breath. He has a strong smell of opium. There's a strong smell of opium coming from the man's mouth, like someone had just given him some kind of opiate-based medication, maybe some kind of sedative. But of course,
No,
to
sorry,
chart.
sorry. Yeah.
So there's a strong smell of opium. Someone possibly gave this man an opium sedative. But you were looking at his chart. There's no reason he should have a sedative. And there's no record that it was administered. You know it because you were looking at it before. And the man starts foaming at the mouth more, and he starts shaking violently, right? Shuddering. And he stops moving. Nurses start screaming, "Oh no!" They start getting saline solution, and they start, trying to talk with him and slap him awake, and oh, get this, get that, and call some medicine, and they start dumping some medicine in him, and within the next like 5 minutes, you kind of just see it happen. You're trying to help, but the man, the man's slipping away, and
There's anything that we would have that would like counterbalance the effect of this.
you try, you say, oh my gosh, someone's been, you say you think he's been giving a sedative, and so you ask for some tinctures that should be stimulants for him, probably something coca leaf based, and you get the needle and you start injecting it to him, and you're trying to work on him, and it's frantic. But no matter what you do, right, at the end, this man, he starts to pass. During this, he just doesn't seem to be able to hold on. And the nurses are getting upset. They're screaming at all this. And it's quite strange, but everyone around you, you can see the men are getting scared, and they're looking, and they're all around you. What happened? What happened? Oh my God, is he dead? Charlie! And you see a man, kind of get up, and there's other soldiers who are sort of like interfering with this. Charlie, what? Do something, doctor! Do something! Please, no, man, no, we can't be dying. Oh, he's a good chap, man. He's a good chap. And it becomes very convoluted. And it all happens
I'll
really within 10 minutes.
I'll tell them to calm down and tell the nurses to put them back to their beds. And if they start making a ruckus, I'll call any military authority that's near the tent.
Okay.
Get them to rest.
I will ask you to roll a stability check. Difficulty 3.
Oh shit.
You got this shit.
Oof.
Bam.
Okay. All right. That is successful. Right? This is disconcerting to you. You don't know what's happening. Something's gone wrong here. Someone made a mistake somewhere, or something else. Gentlemen, Norbert, Box, Monk, au revoir, sorry. Let's get back to you. How will you all proceed?
Can I just make a question real quick?
Yes.
Because you went mute for me for a second. When did I realize maybe it was something with the opioids? What gave it away?
When you smelt it on his breath when you got closer, and you were trying to
Okay.
take his heartbeat and check his pulse on his neck, right, and using your stethoscope, right, and you were like trying to get his, looking at his eyes because his eyes were dilated. It just like it hit you, right? You smelled it.
Okay.
Yeah, just now, just as you were checking him, and he was starting to get worse. Hobbs, au revoir, Monk, Fox. What are you gonna do?
I'll tell the
Well,
guys, this blind fellow, he knows something more. I can feel it. It's like he was trying to tell something to us, but he didn't want to say it here. Maybe it's better to talk to him private later.
He was too fucking happy for a blind man, in my opinion.
That's strange.
And I know, as I said, guys, this place is weird, and it's getting weirder and weirder every time, each minute that pass. So I don't know you, but I'm
he said
thinking,
something about putting people back together.
Yeah, and about this Miss Borden, right?
yes, too much. As I said, too much people wants to put people together in a place, and you can see piles of bodies everywhere. I don't know what this man mean. It's maybe it's just a crazy man, but this everybody's looking crazy here. And I speak
Oh,
very, 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 low volume, even me. Then again, say, well, I don't know. What do you think? It's a good idea to check that bodies. Of what? And I saw a foreigner man, not from here, from England, praying to other people. I don't know why this fellow man is here. This guy is here. I don't know. What do you think? What we should check?
I also saw this heathen. He was praying to
Yes.
to
Kai,
some
can
god.
I ask, is it worth using a sense trouble point, or is it flipping obvious that there's something wrong?
I mean, um, yeah, I didn't. I mean, yeah, I don't think you need to maybe spend a point on this. Like something, there's something
It's
strange here.
obviously fishy.
Yeah, so something's unusual. I mean, you can't
Well,
put your finger on it. I mean, clearly there's nothing overtly. I mean, yes, there's unusual amount of, like you already realize that it's a bit something's a bit odd. Uh, you already heard already that this hospital had a bad reputation. I'm sorry, this clearing center. But
Well, I haven't seen the truck, so maybe I say to the guys, can you show me this truck of bodies that you're talking about?
Come on, I saw that. I saw the truck, right, Kai? So I know the
yeah,
location, right?
yeah, you saw it last night. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it's
yeah. So okay, let's check that. Uh, this place, we need some answers here because I don't know about what guy said about put people together, but in a place where the bodies are like being stored, I don't know. It's strange. We need to check it out and maybe find a way to get out from this place as soon as we can and return to our lives.
well, if you heal up, there's just one option. It's going back to the front line. That's why you're here, so they can fix
Yeah,
you,
but
get you fighting
yeah, no,
again.
I know, but I this place because since I arrived, I got these strange dreams about crows eating my eyes, and then you know,
Do you
so
do you
the
Th-
do you? So
This
you're
is
telling
our
them?
life, Corporal. Get used to it.
All right, so I sort of make sure. Yes, you've told them this, right?
oh, I know, I didn't tell them yet. I just spoke
Okay.
about au revoir about this dream. I just met them right in
Mhm.
this small talk here we're having. I've met them. I don't know if one of them pointed a gun to me yesterday the
Uh,
adventure.
it,
Sorry
it,
about that.
it was Sergeant Hobbs. You
Yeah,
recognize his
yeah.
rough face.
So he knows that I act strange for real. So I don't know. I'm insisting in go checking that bodies in this truck to see what the hell is happening here.
What do you think, Sergeant, sir? Should you go there and check it out?
Uh, yeah, let's go. I think that's a good idea. Um, Father, au revoir. Do you want to lead the way?
Yes. I will lead you to the area where the corpses are. It is quite terrible.
Okay, okay, Kaya, we're checking the trucks.
All right. So you're going to start walking then outside, the tent area eventually, beyond the camps, right? The tents all look like this, out into the fields. Okay. And it's at the edge of the camp, kind of basically abutting somewhere near, there must be a trail or road, is where you were last night. So it doesn't take you much to get over there. But what you see is there is uh, trucks, yeah, and these trucks are sort of hmm, uh, and they seem to be these ambulances. They're actually like the the smaller kind, right? You really is nice because now they've got like the first aid symbol painted. You didn't notice that at night because it was in the dark. And there were several of them,
Hmm?
and they're all stacked with all these like shrouded, uh, uh, looks like corpses, right? As you get closer, you right, you can of the
I
body.
decide to get closer, and for I just say to the other guy, say I don't know, but so many ambulances that could be used to help people in the front here, parked with a bunch of bodies. Strange.
I mean, I would say there's probably like three. There's probably three ambulances
Oh,
back
just
here.
three. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there's like dozens and dozens and dozens, right? I mean,
oh
but
no,
there's
all right, all right. So
there's like, yeah, it's not like it's a field of 20 trucks, but 2 dozen bodies in between the 3 trucks. Yeah.
Can
Um,
we look around to see who's responsible for the trucks? Ask why they haven't been moved.
um, okay, yeah, you can look around. Um, I'm going to say that you can use. Who would like to use military talk to try and get some information? Perhaps
I have
Sergeant Hobbs. Why don't you do that?
few. I've got 5, so I'll use one of those.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can. Yeah. In this case, you can sort of use a point of military talk and hammer some people
Okay.
down, and you will get some nurses, and they go, "Oh, sir. I'm sorry. Um. Um. Yes. Yes. Well.
Who's responsible for these ambulances here? They're full of bodies. They've been stood there since yesterday. When are these going to get buried?
Oh, sir. I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Well. Um. I suppose we should talk to the major. But all hands have been on deck for the last 2 nights, and no one's been able to get themselves about to drive these over to the cemetery. It's a bit down the road, but there was lots of shelling the last 2 days, and I guess they were afraid of losing any more vehicles. I heard that there was a vehicle lost but last night in one of the caravans coming in, sir. Um, I'm not really one to drive, so I don't know how to.
There's a few of us here. Maybe we can help you out.
Oh well, yes, sir. Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. You can talk to the major, but uh, it's Miss Ogilvy who's decided not to move the trucks. She says that there's not enough manpower for it, and there's not enough time, and that the dead can wait. Help. That's what she said, sir. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I should have said that. I'm not trying to speak out of order, sir. I just want you to understand what the situation is.
Where is Ogilvy? Maybe we can have a word with her.
Yeah, yes, sir. Normally, she points back. Well, she is at the head nurse's tent. I'm sure she's commanding things around. You might find her there, sir. Please don't say that I said anything, sir. I don't really want to. She's she's quite.
Don't worry. Your secret's safe with me. Where is the head nurse's tent, by the way?
Well, sir, if it's the blue one, and she sort of points and it gives you some directions, and she's like, well, sir, if you find Cheery, she's not driving a caravan, she should be able to help to drive around. There's not a lot of women here who know how to drive these trucks, sir.
Who is that? You said Cheery.
Cheery, sir. She's one of the caravan drivers, sir. You remember Cheery? She was the hysterical girl.
Oh, great.
You had to deal with last night.
Here we go again. Deal with the crazy women.
Yes.
While they were speaking, I would try to get closer to the tracks to see bodies.
Okay, I mean, yeah, you get close, and you're not sure. The bodies are smelling. I mean, it's not like they've been out here for weeks or anything, but they're starting to stink. I mean, it smells. It doesn't smell anywhere near as bad as the trenches, which you've been around bodies that have been rotting for weeks, right? So it's like they're starting to get ripe. But luckily, it's not too hot outside, right? It's been reasonably cold. And so they're sort of
you
refrigerated.
know where this Cherry is?
She if you ask the nurse, like this nurse, and it's probably like 2 nurses, actually, probably maybe another girl who's kind of quiet, and she's like, oh sir, yes, well, sometimes you can find Cheery. If she's not in the mess hall, well, sir, sometimes she's speaking with Nurse Ogilvy, She seems to be someone that Miss Ogilvy doesn't uh, mind talking to, sir. But um, uh, you know, I'd be careful with Cheery. She's very, uh, oh, sir, she's very high strung. You see, I don't think that she's dealing with things very well. You know, I do tell her stiff upper lip and all, but she seems to be a girl who's really not fit for this place.
Yeah, I get the impression. I think Father Au revoir might have a few bit more skills at reassurance than I. Maybe we should both go over.
I will assist you,
Okay.
Sergeant.
If you wouldn't mind, I I kind of set her off last time. Don't want to do that again.
Okay. So let me just go back to Corporal Norbert Box.
Yep.
Okay, Box. I mean, so you see that, like I said, these bodies are there, and it's just wrapped up. Like I said, there's about 2 dozen of them, right? Sitting on these trucks. You can see past the field, right? There's an empty field, and maybe far away over the field, you can maybe see possibly the white tents of another casualty clearinghouse, far, not too far off. And I would also say that there's a road, and you you notice that there's a raised area that suggests that there's some train tracks, in between here and that next casualty clearing um, hospital.
It's a brand new structure,
The train
or
tracks.
no,
The
no, the other healing.
you can't tell. You just see that it's like far across the field. It's like another 200 yards, 300 yards maybe, across the field. But you can notice the field, looks like it's got craters in it. Like this place has been hit by artillery fire, and you notice a slightly raised area that and there's like, even like a box car sitting there. It looks like there's a train there, like not necessarily the locomotive, but perhaps some boxes, some of the cars for train are kind of sitting there. Luckily, they haven't been hit. I mean, so um, that's what this area is. And so there must be a road, right? There's a road through the mud. You can see like a trail. If you're using evidence collection, there's clearly like, there must be some kind of rutted trail that kind of leads off parallel to the train tracks somewhere that these
So,
trucks seem to be associated with, right? You can kind of see the road where these trucks might go.
so there is a path to
Yeah.
between the trail, the train tracks and our camp, right?
Yes. Yes.
I'm
That's good.
with Corporal Box. Okay, I see all of this as well, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You see all of this. Yes.
And I,
You guys
and I,
are
and I
all
make
together.
point when the people get close. I say I call everyone and I point to the place and ask to the nurse there. I say, do you know where this place, this path guide us? It could lead us.
Oh, sir. Yes. This path will take you to the tracks. When we have to, some of the soldiers who are too injured and cannot go back into the front lines. This will take them to the major field hospitals out by the coast. And the car will come sometime, sir. It's the same train track that works for all the clearing centers that are in this area. We're not the only ones. There's many people coming injured off the lines, sir. Um, sir, no, I'm sorry, sir, but um, and just past that, sir, um, there is a graveyard, sir, um, that's used by the casualty clearing centers, uh, sir. Um,
Mm.
sir, that's where these trucks would go, sir. Um, Actually, not well. Not you're not. You're a corporal. So, now, Anthony, how high is a corporal?
I'm a shitty
That's a
guy.
shit, right? That's not very. That's not nothing. But
Yeah,
would a
a
military
corporal.
nurse still be subservient to a corporal?
Yeah. A corporal is right below a sergeant. They're an
Okay.
NCO, but right below an NCO.
Okay. Okay. My apologies for not really knowing the hierarchy that well. I'm sorry,
No,
guys.
it's fine.
Um,
They would mistake it. They don't understand the rank. So
yeah.
if they're
Um,
civilian nurses, then yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Because again, yeah. So they maybe they don't really they're then they've just been militarized lately. Yeah. So that's the situation, right? Because they shouldn't be using sir, but they're kind of getting confused. So and it's like looking at Sergeant Hobbs and at you. Yes, it's out there. Uh, really, there's been. Uh, I'll be honest. This is not bad for the past 2 days. I have a feeling there will be more. When they're full, maybe we'll take them out. I fear there's more bodies coming, sirs. Um, we've we're having a bad lot here, sirs. A bad time. Um,
Got it. I got it. I understand. It's harsh. Just go back to the guy to say it's strange because if there's a track and it's take the lot quickly those tracks to these bodies to the way.
Are there somebody in this other tent? Can we see somebody there?
Yeah, in the other, yes, the other these
Yeah.
other ambulances, these truck ambulances. Yeah, like I said, there's about 24 bodies
No, the
between
on the
them.
tent, on the far away over the field.
Oh, you can't tell. That's far away, man. That's like I'm
Ah,
just
okay,
saying.
it's
It's like you
too
can see
far.
tents across the field that just suggest there's another one of these clearing casualty centers nearby,
Ah,
but
okay.
not
Could,
here.
That's why
could I
I
ask?
asked if this cleaner shit this the other structure is new or not so new. But
Oh, it's a oh, no, no, no. Well, yes, sir. Well, well, we've been here, sir. We were moved from our previous location, sir. You know how it is. We these casualty clearing hospitals and their personnel, they move from place to place. So I've only been here for about 2 weeks, sir. And these other casualty clearing centers were probably set up in preparation for the current battle, sir, as I'm sure you know.
Are there
see,
stuff at the cemetery if we drop the bodies off?
I'm sorry?
Can I ask the nurse whether the cemetery has staff? Because I don't
No,
mind driving the bodies over there, but I don't fancy burying them.
no, no, sir. That's another part of the problem. Uh, there's not enough people. Miss Nurse Ogilvy doesn't really want to um, uh, sacrifice anyone from the surgery rooms to go digging graves. Uh, we're hoping perhaps when some of the men are more recovered, or perhaps some visitors come, that we'll have some diggers, sir. But that is part of the problem.
This is outrageous. These men
Uh,
deserve burials.
Uh, uh, I'm sorry, sir. You're correct. No, not you. That's father. You are correct. I feel terrible about this. And she sort of makes a sign of the cross, and she says, "No, but God forgive us. God forgive us. I feel sometimes that God has abandoned us."
The Lord is here. Don't you worry. I think we have to go and see Ogilvy.
I agree.
Yes, that's very strange. Um,
Okay.
I'll intimidate this nurse and say, "Put yourself together, woman." But what can we find in this tent? What are you hiding? Who have been burying people since then? There were more dead people before these dozens here. Am I right or not?
Um. Oh, sir. Oh, oh, sir. I don't know, sir. I haven't been a driver. I'm not involved. I don't know. Maybe they haven't been buried yet. Maybe they're just in the cemetery. It's terrible. These men deserve better than this. They deserve better. You're
Kai,
right.
would intimidation get any closer to the truth?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And so yeah. I mean, if you start, and how are you going to intimidate this nurse? Please tell me, uh, lads bombardier monk.
Well, I'm a strong guy, so I'll get closer to her, and when I told this to her, I'll raise my voice and sound. So I said, put yourself together. So we're talking serious here. We're not joking. So tell me the truth, like that, just raising my voice and getting near her.
Okay. Okay. Give me a second. Yeah. So you freak her out, right? She definitely gets kind of you know scared about this. Um, and so um, she is going to tell you. Let's give me some bit of proper information here. Um, um, that she's seen I'm sorry. Look, there's many men. I've seen them. I've seen men who are healthy, who are fine, and from one day to the next, they die. I thought they were recovering, um, and they didn't. Um, I, I don't know what to do about this, sir. Um, it's not our fault. We try very hard. We work day and night, and it seems that really nothing we can do helps. Everything goes wrong, and Ogilvy she just yells at us, and when men die, and she's not meeting the numbers, and there's issues, well, she makes us do terrible work, and she makes us dig ditches, and I don't even want to tell you, sir. It's not for ears. You've probably seen worse than I have, but it's terrible for us. And I tell you, there's something wrong. There's men here that they're dying in the hospital beds, left and right. And well, really, I, there's a, there's only one nurse who has a. I guess she's been blessed by God. She's an angel, Nurse Borden. She seems to be the only one who can keep her patients well. All the rest of us, she's we we have to suffer. We take care of these men, sir, and we're responsible for them. And when they
For all
pass,
of you, just one nurse can take care of the people well. So that makes no sense.
well, I don't know how to explain it really, but you know, her and her helper, that dark skinned man from the colonies, whatever they do, it works well, but not for us, sir. I mean, in the last 2 weeks, I've had I've had I've had I've had almost a dozen men die, sir. A dozen of those men, I've seen them that are here. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. Um, I think there's something wrong. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just too much, too many people coming. There's so many.
Sergeant, sir, I think we must check it out. I don't know, maybe talk to this Borden nurse or this Miss Borden or check out about this tent far away.
And
Well,
and
what do you
and she's
think? Should we see Ogilvy or Borden?
Um,
Well, do you know Miss Borden? Someone here?
I've never met Borden, but I met Ogilvy last night. Goodness me, I don't want to meet that again in a hurry. Then maybe we should check out Borden.
Well, I saw that woman yesterday. Just for her voice, I remember the voice was. Oh, it's freaking me out. So let's speak with the other one.
I remember
okay.
seeing the Savage.
Time is passing.
Where
Okay.
where was he, Father?
He was in one of the tents. He was performing rituals that were not very godly.
Ungodly rituals? That I hate those.
Good Lord. Let's talk to. Where can you find this Mrs. Borden then?
Um. Well, sir. She makes her rounds about. You know. But she's got some men in the head injury center. Uh, Maybe you've seen them. And she has many different patients in the various sections. Um, but sometimes you see her. She's quite sociable. Some the men go out about, and she does talk with them. Sometimes she prays with them, I guess. Uh, you know, I believe she's a God-fearing woman. She must pray a lot. Um, but
Sounds like I might get on if she's God-fearing.
It depends on which god she prays to.
Oh, yes.
okay,
Good
I'm
point.
gonna. Sorry, go ahead. Finish that off because I want to move on to Yuri.
I was just concurring with the father.
Okay, Yuri. Sorry, it's been a long time. What are you going to do? You're going to go see Miss. No, actually, I forgot what you were doing. I'm sorry. It's been a while.
Well, what am I going to do? I'm going to see her, Miss Burden later. As she asks me to go at night, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay.
You said you could talk to her later. Yes.
There are two things that I need to do before that. The first one is to look around the camp to take a look about what she, if someone is smuggling soldiers out of the camp to go back to England without being. Uh, you got it, idea. And the second thing that I need to do before going to meet her is take the fucking bullet from my abdomen because I'm walking around. My morphine is probably running away, and the thing might be if I don't know if in fact with situation. It's not because I don't know the English for this, but it's just because I don't know the medical knowledge for this. When you have something inside you, your body does what again?
Well, it'll get inflammation.
Oh,
I
okay,
believe.
okay. Because probably did a lot of inflammation, but must be hurting a lot.
Yes.
So I need to do these two things before anything else.
All right. So they're right. Yeah. There might be time for you to come back, and there's probably time for.
Yeah,
you
pretty
to-
much she's saying that it's just a flesh wound, but he's just being arrogant and trying to be better than everyone else.
Come on, make the joke, right? Come on. Just a flash one. Come on, make the joke.
I already did, man.
Be free
I already
to.
did. I already did it when I was talking with the African guys. So that is a flesh wound.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm surrounded this area. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Just do the joke. You respect me not to do it.
Okay. So eventually you're going to go back. Yes. And you're going to maybe hassle some of the doctors, ask them to look at your what do you call it?
I
Your
had an
current-
appointment.
Yeah, your current records, and sort of put your foot down and demand that they take off your bandages and because the wounds are starting to seep, and that they take the last damn piece of shrapnel out of you. Right?
Ooh, finally. I thought they wouldn't be able to do that.
Okay. You make a fuss about it. So, is there something you can use to make a fuss? Is there some skill you have to make
Intimidation.
demand?
I have military talk, intimidation.
Oh,
Can you use any one of those? Intimidation, I still have 10 points left if you
yeah.
prefer.
I think you're gonna have to. I think you're gonna have to spend a point of intimidation to
Yeah, so totally.
something like this. Yes, I
Things
mean this
like,
is a bit out of order.
after
Right?
all, I'm an officer here, and I want this fucking bullet out of me.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Just saying.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is, yeah, they are going to, the doctors are going to be, sort of concerned. The nurses are going to chatter, but they will accept that it is time for you to take a to finish the last piece, because you had shrapnel in various places, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they did one
Yeah.
operation and took it out, another operation and took it out, and again, last night was kind of wild, and they just didn't finish
Yeah,
because
got it. Totally, totally.
the shrapnel they took out, most importantly, was stuff that was near major arteries or organs, and the rest of it was deemed
And I was walking for this. Okay,
well. I mean,
that
you
was
know,
lucky.
they took the really bad stuff out, right? And so they're
Okay.
definitely going to give you basically uh, a delicious sedative
Oh,
sedative expectorant mixture made from camphorated tincture of opium,
not addicted at all.
oxymel of squill, syrup of tolu, concentrated infusion of
Wow, that
cascarilla, and water. I mean, you don't know that. You're not a doctor. I'm just filling you in. They're going to give you some foul smelling liquid that's going to
but I
help to
do see all these needles coming in, right?
take you down, and then a little bit of anesthetic with that. All right. And so, this is not going to be quite night, but, this is already in the afternoon, and you've sort of demanded that this happen. And
Okay.
so, time's going to pass. You're going to be in surgery, right?
Okay.
And, the surgery is not going to take extraordinarily long, but,
Half an hour?
no, I don't think that's
Because
that.
if I can use it as an argument, I took my appendix out this beginning of this year and took just 2 hours to do this.
You do realize it's 1915, right?
But I'm trying to make this faster for me so I can do everything that my character needs.
Yeah, well, if you want, you want to make them do the surgery.
No, 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 no.
Yes.
No, don't
Take
need
a
to kai
surgery,
kai.
Yuri.
But wait, it
It's a great
it already
idea.
happened. Um, so it's
So-
great. So you recover at some point, and it's a couple of hours later. It was kind of already maybe after it was after lunch when you were. No, actually, it was. Yeah, I would have said this was maybe all this happened over a course of several hours. It's probably after lunch. So
Okay.
some of them, we started in the afternoon. I mean, you wouldn't have been able to eat, right?
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
your stomach empty for the surgery, and so what happens is that you wake up later, and I mean it's bright. You're in one of these tents. It's time for you to relax, of course, and time is going, and you're sort of woozy as you're waking up. There's not a lot of people in this tent because I think most people are out. There are some, men who seem to be more bedridden. They perhaps have some sort of, you see nurses handling them and sort of feeding them while they're in the
Mhm.
bed. Clearly, some men who are more injured. You can see some of, the nurses are out and about checking people's paperwork. I would like you to roll a sense trouble with difficulty 3.
Okay, the says trouble, says trouble. This is in general, right?
Yes.
Okay, sense trouble.
Okay.
Oh.
Good.
It's all good. So
So you pass the sense trouble. It was a difficulty 3. It's not too hard. It's very open. You notice that there is a bunch of nurses who start coming in. These nurses come in, and they seem to be carrying some kind of boxes. And they're setting the boxes uh, basically in uh, on top of near your cot. And the other nurses come, and they start checking you. Oh, good, you're awake. Excellent, Lieutenant Probish.
Arthur James Probish.
sir, sir. Please, let's check your injuries. Oh, excellent. You have some water, sir. Yes. Very good, very good, very good. As they're kind of talking to you, you notice that these nurses are like, they brought in like two crates, and they seem to be taking, you see them taking out some kind of cabling, and they're setting some cabling, some kind of, is that electric cables? And then you notice that they've got a they they've got some kind of, looks like a battle helmet or something, and they're attaching the cables to the battle helmet.
Nurse, what's this?
Oh, sir, please, no, you've just had to just calm down. Oh, don't worry, don't worry. It's all good, it's all good. It's nothing for you to worry about. It's all part of your treatment, sir.
Great,
and
explain to me what's this.
Well, you see, yes, this is special treatment, sir, from Dr. Watts has developed. Very, very clever man, sir. Don't you worry. It's you'll be right as rain quite soon. As she's
Then
checking
explain
your
to me what
records
this
again.
does.
Well, sir, I really I'm not a doctor, sir. It's gonna invigorate you, and it will help your healing process go faster. That's what I understand.
Invigorate me? Are you calling me a coward? A weakling?
Oh, no, sir, but you're injured. Obviously, you need a bit of, you're so enthusiastic. You wanted this surgery faster, and you want to get back to battle as soon as possible, sir. So,
I feel great. Any of this don't explain what is this. And by the way, I never heard the name of this doctor you told. What is his name again?
Oh, sir, his name is Dr. Watts. Dr. Watts, it'll be fine, sir. Just calm down. And as she's saying, you see the other, you hear you look around and you see the murmurings from the other people around you, and like some of them kind of like sitting up, on some of them are trying to sit up on the bed, and the nurse is telling me, "Oh, calm down, sir." And the other ones who are don't have a nurse around them, they kind of get up and they start shaking their head, and you notice that they look quite nervous at the nurses and at you, and one of them like looks at you and shakes his head, and he gets up and he starts walking out of the tent.
Oh, okay. Did I really need to say strawberry for that? I mean, that is stupidly fishy, man. That's absolutely. I'm gonna get electrocuted and sacrifice for some demigod. I don't know what. So.
I mean, it's because you were kind of half. It's because you're still coming out of anesthesia.
Because I'm busy.
You're kind of like half awake, right? So you're not really paying attention to everything. You're coming out of surgery.
I'm going to use this strange potion on you, but everything's gonna be okay.
But since I passed the sense trouble, I got it. Nurse, there's no need for me. I'm a full-fledged warrior, soldier of the British Army. I do not need this modern fancy things.
And so
with my athletic body, my youth.
And
I don't need kind of things. This is a shame to me and my family, to my name. And this totally works, right?
And she's like, Sir, please, it'll be all right. Please calm down. It'll be fine. Sir, if you excuse me, I'll be right back. It may be possible that we may need some restraints. Sometimes the process can be a bit uncomfortable, and it's better that you don't move too much when this happens.
Of course, nurse.
I'm Nurse Ferguson. Nurse Ferguson.
Of course, Ferguson. Go there and do what you need. And when she leaves, I'm gonna get up and try to get the fuck out of here.
Okay, so there's a bunch of nurses around here, and they're kind of talking to each other. They've set the equipment up, right? And you can see it's like a big long cable. If you look up and get up, you notice that there's like basically in the box, there's a bunch of automotive batteries all connected to each other and connected to the cables. and there seems to be some sort of switch or something attached to it. I mean, you have physics, don't you?
I have 10 of physics.
Yeah, and so you're like, oh,
No, wait. Physics. Oh, no. Physics I don't have. I have athletic.
athletics. Okay, all right. So
I
then,
have
yeah, so
3
maybe
left. Sorry.
that's Monk who has
Three
it.
left.
Yeah, so you're like, you don't know what this is. but
Oh
this
no,
is what-
I have electrical repair.
Okay, if you have electrical prepare, you're like, what is going on? This is about 4 sets of automotive batteries that have been put
Oh,
together
shit,
with some sort of throw switch and some sort of knob, and
But
they've been
Ro
attached.
sense trouble, huh?
Well, of course.
Don't forget your sense trouble. Your sense trouble, Ro.
Yeah, that
Again,
was the tale, right? If I didn't
you're-
get this one, oh my god, what would be of me?
You're waking up from anesthesia, right? You're just a little cloudy headed. You're not attentive. It's like being drunk. And so you realize the issue. And so it's like this. You need to sneak out of here. And you can try
Oh no,
to run,
Sherlock.
but you're gonna have to do some kind of either a sneak or a fleeing. And it's going to be difficulty 6 to get your ass out of here before the nurses notice you. And
Okay, is Nick or fleeing, right?
yes,
So I'm gonna take Sneak. Because James, for James Probation never flee from a fight. He just sneaks out of it.
okay, all right. So the sneaking. All right, so I'll say that the sneaking is slower, so it's going to be more difficult. It's a 7 because fleeing is just you kind of getting up and trying to run and hide.
Okay. Oh, I have 10 of stealth. Can I pay you 1?
You can do whatever. Yeah, you can pay as many points as you want.
Okay.
The difficulty for stealth is 7.
Puta que pariu. Okay, gonna spend 3, man.
Well, yeah. Okay, great. Yes.
I think it's 6. Oh
Okay,
my
7.
god.
You're successful. So that means that while the nurses seem to be kind of distracted, and you kind of crawl along the floor almost. Actually, tell me how you sneak out of this. I'm not going to tell it. You tell me. How do you sneak out of this?
Well, by what I see in the image that you let here in the Road 20 chat, there's some spaces that I can pass through, or just like windows, and this is plastic.
Yeah. No, I mean it's not plastic. My gosh, it's mosquito netting.
Oh, mosquito netting. I don't think that this is lonas. How to say lona in English?
We'll see.
Canvas, something like.
How?
Canvas, no.
Canvas. Okay, this big thing have tissue over here. I don't suppose they are really, much heavy.
No, it's not. It's not heavy. No, this stuff is not heavy. It's
Okay,
it's
so
fabric.
I kind of slide like I'm laying on my cog, and I kind of rolling out of it, but not rolling, but it's like it's very slightly and not very aggressive, getting out, but not turning up my body. I just like pushing myself a little bit to the right, and I just getting out of the bed, and I very slightly I get in the ground, then I get below the bed, and I drag myself with my upper body strength, because since if it was in the abdomen, if I use my legs, I'm gonna use the abdomen, so I try to get my upper body, my elbows, to drag me out of the tent, like first the head, then the body, and then I'm going to keep doing this and
Like
going
underneath. You're getting underneath the fabric, underneath the tent, right? Essentially.
exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Can I
okay,
do this?
Yeah.
And
Yes,
then when
that's
I
right.
and when I gonna get I get out of it, what is my uniform? I'm in my uniform.
I mean, you're like this. You're not in the uniform. You're in like, you're partially in a uniform, whatever's comfortable, right?
Do I have the part that is my rank?
Probably. You have your jacket. You could have grabbed your jacket.
Great, that's all I need. Okay, I drag myself off, but I don't get up. I do the same thing with my upper body, with my abdomen up, not in the ground. I'm not sliding this in the ground so you won't get infected or contaminated or open the wound. So I kind of drag me out of the tent, behind the tent, real low, just dragging myself like this. I always pay attention if someone is coming behind me or something like that, and I try to succeed because I'm fucking awesome and progress is amazing.
Okay, Probus, you get yourself out of there. Then you walk away from that damn tent, right? And as you're walking away, you're kind of actually scuttling away. You kind of hear some kind of loud, busy man, right? So you kind of see him. It's possible you sneak away and you kind of see him. The nurses are outside talking to him. He's quite.
That was major, don't be the major, don't be the major, but don't be major.
He's tall looking. He's broad shouldered. He's smiling with a wide smile. He's like, and you can kind of hear him saying, "Oh, great! Yes, wonderful. We have a new patient. Well, let's see. Take me to him. Yes.
Do you recognize the voice?
Nope.
It's not
And you hear him, and you see him. Oh, yes, he's right over here. Like again, you turn around and now you can't hear it, but all you kind of hear, you just hear, "Drat! Darn it! Where'd the man go?" And as you're like kind of,
I don't wait to see. I don't wait to hear what's going to happen next. I take it if there is any kind of stick around, I'm gonna try to use that to help me walk, and I trying to go away. I'm going from to the woods.
well, there's no woods. There's just fields around here. There's many tents and fields. I mean, there's like 30 tents and 40 tents. This is a big place.
Okay.
Right.
First of all, so if there's a lot of tents, I'm gonna try to find new clothes, clean clothes.
You could try and steal maybe some clothing that's hanging around from someone, or
Could I use my military talk to kind of convince some of the nurses because saying I'm the lieutenant and blah 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 and I got my things dirty and I need a new one right now.
Yes. They'll be like they'll you can use a military talk. It's not even how much.
I don't have
military
spent.
talk you got. Just use it. You're not getting clues, but you can do it without. You just pull rank. It's no problem. It's
Okay,
not
but
military talk. You're going to use your credit rating. What's your credit rating? 3, right?
My credit rating is yes, exactly 3.
Yeah. So you're a ranking person. They just listen to you. It's just by default of your credit rating.
Okay, but I don't do it in the next tent. I like go 3 tents,
Yeah.
3 tents away.
Yeah. Okay. 3 tents down and start like changing the clothing. Yeah, and that's okay while you're doing
And I ask
this.
for help. So
the
I will open the stitches.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. And they're like, "Oh God, what happened? What happened, sir? Why are you so dirty?"
I just fell in the dirty. After all, a lot of mud.
Shouldn't we? Why don't you go back to your tent here? What tent are you in?
I was going the way and when I dropped it. I'm going right there right now. No need to worry. I can do that by myself.
Okay, sir. And then, like, it doesn't take much within while this is happening. Suddenly, you hear someone screaming. Ah!
You hear electricity?
And the nurses look at each other nervously, and they're like, "Oh dear."
Nurse, what is this?
Yes, I'm sorry. That's, it's probably Mr. Watts, Dr. Watts. He's, reinvigorating a patient.
How so?
And the screaming, stops after a couple of, about a minute or two.
Okay, do I see any officer, the rest of my uniform? Anything that could go along with the rest of my uniform in this tent or any other tent?
Roll a preparedness test.
Preparedness? Oh shit! This is getting worse.
Difficulty.
Okay.
There
4.
you go. You
Yes!
notice another officer's jacket sitting around nearby?
No. The jacket I already have. I want the shirt and the pants.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you find it. You're able to kind of pull rank and or notice it around and kind of grab it with no one really saying anything to you.
Okay, I grab it. I go to another tent, and then I change that to look that I'm not a patient.
Okay, all right. So that's what you're gonna do.
I'm gonna
right?
be
And
just a uniform officer now. I'm not a
Okay.
patient anymore.
I see.
And then I'm going to the same room of the other offices.
Okay, that's fine. That's what you're
I'm
gonna do.
gonna go back to that.
We're gonna stop there, right? That was
Well,
okay.
yeah, of course, please, because you're going to give me a heart attack.
Okay, sorry. God, sorry about that. Doc Francis. Are you there?
Yes, so I thought I wasn't muted again. Okay.
It's okay. Sorry about that. All right. So Doc Francis, I believe that you were
So
going
the guy
to go.
just died on me. One patient just died on me.
Yeah. So that's horrible, and you kind of had to sort of like, you saw him dying, and you've kind of had to walk away from this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do now?
Am I still near the body or not?
You're in front. Yeah, this happened. You're in front of the tent, right?
I would
And as
like
a matter of fact, as you hear this, you hear somewhere down some of the tents someone screaming, and it lasts for like a minute and a half. Right? It's like you can hear a muffled screaming somewhere off in the distance.
Distance, like really distant, or
No, I mean like some dozen tents down or something. But that's okay. What was your plan? What's your game plan here?
Yeah, I wanted to look at the body. I wanted to look because I'm imagining someone fucked up. Someone did something that they should not be doing.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is, so I wanted to look at his body and maybe get any type of clues, anything. Like look at his clothes, like if he has any pockets or something like that. Look at his veins, if there's like any mark that's not from the recent things that we put in his veins trying to save his life.
Yeah. Okay. What was I saying? Okay. So, I mean, the nurses kind of take over, right? And they they're kind of looking at him and trying to take care of him, and like you can cross over him. I mean, basically, he had some minimal shrapnel wounds, right? And it was a situation where it wasn't really near any the hospital record says that they removed 3 pieces of shrapnel from his abdominal area. They hadn't they'd done some sewing on some slight intestinal damage, but that he should be recovered quickly, right? So again, the report and the paperwork basically says that he had a relatively minor injury.
Okay. I'm not sure what the nurses are gonna do with his body, but I'm gonna grab the paperwork that's on his name. I'm gonna keep it with me.
Sure. Okay.
When you said that I heard the scream, I'm imagining just because it's like a military field camp with a lot of like serious injuries, it must not be weird to listen people scream like that, or not. Is it more intense than usual?
I mean, men scream in pain. There's a surgery. Maybe someone's news come in from the field. I mean, it's you've been hearing moaning and screaming all night. But I mean, most of the men
different from this.
I mean, most of the men take it with a stiff upper lip, right? And even when they're miserable, they kind of very British. Have been taught you don't, be a man. But sometimes men will scream. But I mean, it's a bit unusual. And when you go outside, you find some nurses passing by, and you kind of hear them whispering the name Dr. Watts.
Would that name be familiar to me?
You have no idea. Yep, no idea.
I'll go to the screen then. I'll see if I can help.
Okay.
Anyway, since my patient's already dead.
Yeah, and you kind of like that you walk briskly. You kind of make your way. You kind of make your way. The sounds it's a bit weird, but it's a bit quiet right now, except for that kind of screaming. And you get yourself to a tent that it's not really too far away because it was actually a shrapnel tent, quite frankly. So it's actually maybe even closer than I would say. It's not a dozen tents. It's probably like 6 tents down from where you were, to be honest. So I'm sorry about that. Along this row, and there is you come in and you're shocked.
Literally
there's
or not?
no, there's a set of nurses and a very tall sort of man, doctor, and he's fiddling with some kind of equipment, and there's some cabling coming out of a box, and it's attached to some kind of strange helmet that's been put on a man. When you come in, you can see the man has the tail end of it. He's biting on on a wooden dowel, right? And you can sort of hear his last sort of scream. You can sort of smell, you can sort of hear like the crackling. You can see some sparks coming off of that box, it's like a metal crate, right? And as a man's fiddling, and the guy's like sort of booming, oh well, this maybe a little more. You see the body is convulsing on the bed, and the body's been strapped down with leather belts, so this man can't move. And you notice that everyone in the tent is the men are looking at this nervously, and some of them are trying to get away. They're like leaving the tent as they're like they're stumbling away, and the man's kind of like not cursing, but he's like, well, it's you hear electricity popping, and suddenly it's like the thing goes on fire. It's like, oh no, oh my goodness.
Oh, wait, the guy that's being electrocuted is on fire.
No, the
now?
box.
Or is it just the equipment? Oh, okay.
The equipment catches on fire. The box catches on fire, and this rather tall, broad-shouldered man, starts kind of complaining, and he says it's like, oh well, oh goodness, oh well, this treatment won't go completely at all. Oh goodness gracious.
Well, treatment? What the hell is this that you're doing here, man? What is this? I'll go rushing to him.
Okay, and the nurses are like, oh, the nurses are grabbing some blankets and putting it on top of the smoking sort of metal crate, and he's like, oh, well, excuse me, yes, well, yes, it is a treatment. I am reinvigorating these men. Yes.
Reinvigorating? Yes. You're torturing them. Don't you see? And I'll point to the other soldiers like being scared and shit.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. They're simply frightened of things they don't understand. Why, my machine here will be revolutionary. I am going to reinvigorate their nerves. I will accelerate their healing. If I get it right in my study, well, I will be able to get men with damaged legs. They'll be able to walk again.
With what study are you proving this? Does Nurse Ogilvy knows about this?
Well, of course, he's completely. Of course, she is. And who are you? I've never seen you here before.
Well, I've never seen you either, and I've never seen this type of equipment before. What type of thing is this?
Well, he sticks out his hand, right, to shake. Are you going to shake his hand?
No, I'm not.
He looks at you. Ugh.
What's your name?
Well, Dr. Watts. Yes. Kevin Watts. I assure you, sir, I've studied, and my research here will go quite well. Yes. Really, I think that
you're testing on soldiers.
Well, of course. I mean, this is necessary. I mean, we have to save lives. Sometimes we must do experimentation. We must try new techniques, sir. Don't be closed-minded and frightened.
With essential soldiers for the war. You're testing this. You're not testing this back home with people living on the streets or something, like you do usually in university.
Well, sir, I do not know what university you went through, but I'm here to help men, not to take random vagrants off the street. These men need help. Why, don't you know, in the past year we've already advanced medicine by decades with our new techniques. I mean, the war is terrible, but it has brought us problems to solve. Sir, and I am solving them. Yes, I will be a great name. This will win an award, sir. I assure you. No, I'll be published in the Lancet soon. Well, don't you worry.
Not a word in medicine, it is. So.
Look, man. Look, I don't know who you are, and you don't know. You clearly don't understand the nature of my work. Well, you seem to be concerned about this, but this man will be fine. I mean, ask any of them. There are many men here who have taken my my invigorating technique. Who would say?
Honesty? Can I assess honesty on him while he's talking about this?
Yeah, you don't need to roll a point. Oh yeah, the guy's totally honest. He's absolutely 100% totally.
He trusts in what he's doing.
Yeah, there's no shenanigans. This man is super confident, and he's like, well, this is just a minor setback, but I can sit down with you and I'll show you my research. Oh, we are going to be performing miracles here.
Sure.
And as the men look at him in like can you roll can you roll sense trouble? And
Right.
don't, no jokes, just roll a sense trouble, difficulty 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you just generally notice that everyone here seems to be like smiling, like a forced smile, when he goes around and says, all these men, so many of them have taken my, treatment. So.
Okay. Do I recognize any of the nurses that are working with him?
No. I mean, there's just so many coming back and forth. Yeah, no, you don't recognize them.
They're not like special nurses just for him. They're just nurses that he gathered on the camp.
Yeah, I mean, they just seem to be normal nurses. And one of the nurses comes and says, "Oh, sir, actually, because you'd be captain,
Yeah.
sir, Dr. Watts, he's doing good work here." And she smiles at him.
How long has he been working here with those patients?
It's been weeks. He's really pushing hard. He hasn't had a lot of successes yet, but I believe in him.
Yet. I don't believe in that this is going anywhere. Yes. I'm sorry, but I'm going to talk with someone about this because it's ridiculous. There's a lot of nurses and doctors dying here, trying to save every life, and I just had a man die of no reason that I can find at all in front of me, and while we were trying to save lives, you're electrocuting our patient.
Okay, right. Well,
So
Sarah,
I'll just storm off to Ojuvi, and then you can
Okay.
go to the other guys because
Yeah.
I want to talk to her for a long time.
Yep.
Because
Okay.
I want to talk to her about this and about I'm imagining someone's fucking up or there's like a boycott or something like that happening. inside.
Okay. No problem. No problem. By the way, let me do this. Where is it? Yuri, by the way, could you roll me a health test, difficulty 4?
You sure? We're
Yep.
reading it?
Yep.
Damn it. Can I spend one?
Of course you can. You can always spend your pull points if you want. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Okay. So you lose 1 health point.
I just want.
And
Oof.
well, it's because you spent the point, so you have to lose it. And then I'm going to say that you take an additional 2 points of damage because you kind of reopen your wounds while you were
Yeah,
messing
that's the part I was concerned about.
messing around. Yeah, so you start kind of starting the wounds start seeping blood, and it's just post surgery. So um, yeah,
Okay. Can I
all right.
also try to take a little, uh, some gauze to put on the wound?
Gauze, gauze.
Gauze.
See, consegue. You can try and ask a nurse and find. Like, you're gonna have to try and pilfer some without as you do
Yeah,
this.
I have been in turn talk and I have credit ratings. I know I'm kind of alpha son with the ladies.
Yeah, you can. They can probably get it for you eventually. And then I'm going to. And by the way, just after you do that, what do you want to do?
I just want to take some and put it over my wound so it doesn't make a stain in the shirt.
Yep. Okay. Right. And
After
so.
that, and I'm still going to the place I was saying. I was going to the officer's room,
Hmm.
and I'm going to go there and makes use of the space to talk about this so-called Dr. Watts and what the fuck he's doing.
Absolutely.
It's an
And then.
absurd. It's an absurd. He's doing that to an official officer. This weird thing. This. I don't know what it is, but putting car batteries in an officer. That's that kind of murder, maybe. Absurd.
You get met with quizzical responses. And some of the doctors, many of them, which themselves, they're officers, they're captains, so you've got yourself there. They kind of shrug their shoulders and they say, well, right, he's a bit of an odd one. So, well, one of them says, well, but you never know. It can't hurt, right? And some other conversation happens. Gentlemen, Sergeant Hobbs, Pierre, Lieutenant, Lance Bombardier Monk, and Corporal Box. You guys are making your way towards the head nurse's tent. As you do that, you kind of get yourself towards the opening. At the same time, you see that a captain, a medical captain, is approaching you. To be hell bent, scowling, walking towards the tent.
Mad as shit.
At stomping, okay, towards exactly where you're going. And as you do this, you all notice you notice Sergeant Hobbs, and perhaps only Sergeant Hobbs knows, is that you recognize that a sweet and cheerful girl, Cheery, is walking out of Ogilvy's tent. Emma Cheery Patterson, she's kind of looking around, and it seems like she just put something in her hand into her, kind of putting something into the coat she's wearing, the inside pocket, right? And she looks around a bit nervously.
Can I call to her?
Yes, of course.
Pedersen.
Yeah, yes, Sergeant Hobbs.
You're just the person I was wanting to see. There's some ambulances over there. Nobody seems to be taking them to the cemetery. You drive, don't you?
Yeah, yes, of course.
Is everything all right, Patterson?
Oh, everything's fine. It's fine. Very fine. Her eyes are like really wide, right? you know, and she's like chattering. Her teeth are chattering as she's smiling.
Is there anything you'd like to tell me?
She's looking around, like her eyes are darting back and forth everywhere. She's like almost like trembling. No, 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 sir. Well, you know, Miss Nurse Hartley. Yeah, she hasn't really told me to drive the trucks. There's no one to bury the bodies.
I get along in the conversation and excuse me, lady, are you feeling well? Are you?
Okay. I mean, you can look at her. She's like, I'm totally fine, right? And you know, she's, you know, you look at her and she's like, she looks like her face is really gaunt, right? Like she's really lost, like skinny, right? She's got this, you know, her hair is kind of unkempt, not really combed really well. It looks like really thin. It's blowing in the wind. You know, she's got really dark circles under her eyes, and like she looks at you and like she's, you know, her eyes are really wild looking.
Just look to the guys. Just look, and I speak. I think that we must talk with this nurse now.
And you know, as you do that, this captain sort of like, you know, doesn't even pay attention. It just barrels right past you, and goes into the tent.
Okay.
And she's like, I got. Sergeant Harbs, you know, did you want me to drive those trucks? Talk to Nurse Hartley.
Just a minute, Patson. Do you know who that captain is who just went in there?
No, not at all, Sergeant Hobbs. I don't know who he is.
Why are you so nervous?
Okay. Could I try to I don't know, persuade her to speak with us, like a persuasion check or something like that?
You could either
I have military talk and intimidation.
yeah, I mean, you could either intimidate her now or try and use military talk.
Maybe I would like to use military talk and spend 1 point.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you can spend a point. Yes. What are you trying to get?
I just want to get close to her, say, excuse me, it looks like that you're not feeling well. If you have something to speak to us, you can trust us. We're here to help.
She looks at you very kind of wild-eyed, and she says, we can't talk here.
Okay, I just say, okay, let's get out from this tent. I just look to the guy, say, just look to them and say, we can speak outside. Let's pretend that let's just walk slowly out of here.
Let's smoke a cigarette over there.
Yes, let's have a talk, you know.
Okay. All right. And okay, so she kind of says, she's like very nervous now. Like she's even more nervous. You can see her teeth is like chattering. You know, and she's gritting her. She's like gritting her teeth, right? You can see, and she's talking. She's starting to grit her teeth. Look, are you there with her, Sergeant Hobbs?
Yeah, can I make her empty her pockets? Can I intimidate her to?
Oh, 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 oh. Uh, yeah. So there's two. That so who wants to do that first? Are we going to intimidate, or are we going to try and use some military talk to get her to get some information? So both happen at the same time. I'm going to go like this. So she's like, oh, look, I can't talk about it much. What, uh, Corporal,
What,
but
what was that you had there, Patterson?
oh, Sergeant Hobbs, oh, I'm sorry, Hobbs.
Would you
Sergeant Hobbs.
mind showing that to me?
Uh, uh, um, and she's like, she gets really nervous now. It's like, her hands like shaking.
Patterson, it's a senior officer speaking now. I'm not. Yeah, I am non-commissioned.
Yeah. So he would have rank, right, Anthony? He would have rank over this like girl.
Oh
I
yeah,
suppose, correct?
yeah. He's
Yeah.
an NCO.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's an E5,
So
so he's got rank above anybody below him. So if she's a private
okay.
or a corporal, he has rank above her.
She's like a militarized volunteer. Like that's how I understood this thing. I mean,
So that's probably like a private then.
yeah. She gives out, and she's got a she has a pill bottle. uh, it makes me feel better.
You taking these for your nerves, Patterson?
Yes. yes. Yes.
What have you eaten?
Yeah, it's better if you cooperate with us. As I said, we're here to help. Okay?
Good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. She's like, I get these from Nurse Ogilvy. She knows they help me. It helps me be able to drive.
But I see it.
Yeah, and I mean it's just like a container full of pills. By the way, you hear arguing going on from the inside. Captain Dr. Francis, I'm sure that you're having a stern discussion with Nurse Ogilvy, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes, and you hear Nurse Ogilvy's rather screechy voice rising in pitch, like she, like, well, what do you mean? As she seems to be having an argument with whoever this man was. Hey, look, they just they're for my nerves, and they make me feel better.
But what is written in the pill box? What is written?
Okay. Well, let me do this. Okay, so what do we? So this last thing here is I have to find this piece of info. But this is some sort of
Start off.
it is called
You want to write it, Kai?
you don't know what it is, but it's some kind of stimulant expectorant.
I'll use my chemistry technical skill.
Aha!
Vector.
Yes. Okay, that's better. Now that's the way to do it. You asked. Let me look at that. This is some sort of stimulant. This has coca leaf. It has some sort of aspirin. It has some cocoa syrup. And so you're not too sure, but from the kind of ingredients, you're no doctor, but you know enough about chemistry that this is some kind of powerful stimulant.
Okay, that's a quite strong medicine. It's a stimulant made with coke leaves.
It makes you feel better.
Well, but I think you're taking too much. You're trembling. Have you eaten something lately?
I was gonna suggest she takes one to calm my nerves. See what happens.
I'm gonna barrel into the tent and say, "Pardon me, doctor. I also have
Yeah.
a word. May I also have a word with Madame Ogilvy?"
What is all this? But I don't have time for this. What do
Excuse me,
you
miss.
want?
Excuse me, miss. I've been acting as a doctor first because I know there's a lot of people needing help here, but I am a captain, and I ask for the respect that my rank deserves. Yes. Au revoir. Oh, would I know his name? No, actually. Yes, father. Do come in. I don't see why not.
Madame, it appears that the way you are running your facility is quite disturbing.
Well, excuse me. Well, would you know how to run a complicated hospital like this? I am dealing with hundreds of patients a day. Who are you to question me? I will be speaking to Major Parker about this insolence.
Well, I could tell a lot about how to run a place like this. For first, you don't let a crazy man test on soldiers. This type of shocking, whatever he was doing, like this type of research not to be conducted in a war in the front lines. He
I'm
was
surprised.
scaring them and torturing them.
Kai, did we, like the rest of us, like me, Sarge, Corporal, and Monk, did we all hear the screams?
Oh, yeah. You probably would have heard some muffled screams at some point coming from kind of,
Like, as you said, it
yeah,
lasted
somewhere
for like
ahead.
2 minutes, so that's a lot of
Yeah,
screaming, you know?
somewhere in the direction of where this man came from, you probably heard some screaming, and it was kind of quiet, right? It was kind of a quiet afternoon, so you could definitely kind of hear the screaming off in the distance.
Okay.
And I would try to get some of these pills, 2 pills at least, from the girl.
Okay.
Let's get 2 and get to me. Say, okay, I'm going to get some of these pills as if you say that is good. Now, but now I'm going to enter in the tent. Okay. I hope that you get better.
Oh.
Let's go close the. Get out from the girl and go to the tent.
Okay,
Try
he's like,
to eat something for God's sake and go to the tent too.
and she's like, look, we can talk later. I, please don't be mad, Sergeant Hobbs. But it makes me feel better. I need to concentrate when I'm driving. I
Get some sleep, Patterson.
but
We'll speak later. I've got to set something out right now.
yes, but there's something I need to talk to you about. It's important.
Is it quick?
No, we can't talk here.
Okay, just say okay. If you have something to talk, we can speak with me. I'm with Hobbs. We're here together.
I mean, Hobbs, are you going in, or are you gonna stay out here? So I just have to know what's gonna happen because there's gonna be like
No,
the scenes are gonna
I think that they can. If anyone wanted here to enter the tent to speak with the nurse, they can. But in the moment when the girl says that have something to speak,
Yeah.
I would offer myself to listen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'll
I
stay
would
there
go
as
to the
well.
tent, I think.
I'll stay there with her and a corporate box.
A part of the group split, right?
Yeah,
Part.
yeah.
I enter in the tent. We are here to listen to the girl.
Okay. I'm worried about Nurse Borden. She's been acting a bit strangely since she went on leave. She went to England. I think. Oh. I think she had to take care of a problem in England. I think she was with child. when she left. But she's not with child anymore. Um,
When was it?
uh, it was some weeks ago. I before we moved this 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 casualty clearing station moved to this part of the front, and I I think that I think she's doing something. She came to talk to me, and um, you're gonna give me back my pills, right? I need them.
If you say the whole story, we can discuss this.
Well, um, well, you see, she has like she has some people. She's like looking around that she's soldiers that she's been helping here, and she wants me to help her help these patients.
Help
Um,
to do what?
uh, to make them better. But you see, she's really wonderful. She's so smart, and she works good with all the patients. She's so brave, and she's so much braver than I am, and she
Okay,
doesn't
okay.
get rid of anything.
Now speak. Come on.
But look, they're working together, and I think they're doing something strange. Uh,
Strange like what?
I think they're giving something strange to some of the other patients. She wants me to help her with this, but
Who else is working with her?
Sergeant Hobbs, I'm sorry, sir. I really respect you. Actually, not sir, but Sergeant Hobbs. I don't know what to do. I
You can speak freely here, Patterson.
I I think I think that she's doing something funny, and she wanted me to help her give this special medicine to some of the patients. And she says it will help us all to become better and to get back home
Become
soon.
whole.
Um, huh? What did you ask?
I asked if she said that to become better, and then I asked to become whole again.
Yes. To become whole.
Nice.
I want to go home again. She says she will help me, and she'll help the others, but not everyone. Um, you know, and
How is this medicine? What is it?
I have some. It's in my tent, my things. Look, I think maybe it's the right thing, but I'm afraid that maybe it's better if I give the medicine to other hospitals. Maybe I can
I think
drive
it's good
around.
if you give the medicine to us, and
Well,
then we're going to see what's happening here.
Well,
Because we're here to help, to save, to protect everyone here.
Patterson, have you given this medicine to patients already?
Patterson's not there. Patterson's yelling and screaming in the tent with Pierre, au revoir, and while this is happening. So
Oh,
it's
who are we
you.
talking to?
It's you, George Monk. You're out here then, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's you, Box, it's Hobbs, Monk, and Box that are talking to Cheery, and
Isn't it
she's like,
Chiri Patterson?
yeah, Cheery Patterson. So you're all outside. Oh, I'm sorry, because
Oh,
Doctor.
we're the same name.
Yeah, Doctor Francis Patterson. I'm
Plot
sorry.
twist.
Yeah.
Cherry Patterson is not Cherry Patterson.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, because they have Doc Francis Patterson. I forgot. Yes, so you're all outside. She's talking. She's looking around. She's super shaky. She's really like twitchy, right? She's like,
I'm asking her, has she already given this medicine to?
I haven't given it to anyone yet, because I think maybe it's better if I maybe drive around to other hospitals and I give it. I think that's what Xena wants me to do. She thinks it'll help everyone if I help by going to other hospitals and um, um, and maybe find other patients other soldiers who want to join us, who want to be whole again. Do you guys want to be whole? I mean, I think it's a good thing. Why don't we do this together? You can be whole, and I can be whole, and
So,
Yes.
who else is helping Mrs. Borden?
uh, there's there's some mm, um there's some other injured soldiers and other people. I know who they are. I can point them out. But why don't we come together? Maybe you can talk with them. I think it would be. I trust you, Sergeant Hobbs. You're a good man, and you're always protecting me. So, all these men, your friends, they can be made whole. We can be made whole. And she kind of like grabs you. We can go home, Sergeant Hobbs. We can get out of this hell. We can
I
get out of this
feel like
hell.
I'm sensing trouble right now.
That's treason.
But please, she's not bad. She's not doing anything bad. I'm just not sure how I should help her. But 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 I know that we could work together. So maybe if I can't do it, maybe you want to do it, Sergeant Hobbs. I don't know if I'm good enough, but you can do it. You can help people, and you can help us get out of here. Away. Go home, Sergeant Hobbs. I want to go
Well,
home.
calm down, Patterson. Do you know where Nurse Borden is right now?
Um, no, no, but she'll be around, you know. Um, uh, but don't tell her I told you, please. Just maybe talk to her and see if she'll maybe think you're okay, and maybe she'll invite you too, right? But don't tell her I told her, because I'm worried she'll be unhappy with me, because I'm telling you she's a good person. She's really good. You know, sometimes people die. Like,
Maybe you should take us to this medicine, Patterson. Did you say it was in your tent?
yes, Sergeant Hobbs.
Where is that? Is it close by?
And she's like looking around, nervously. Yes, it is. But if you look suspicious, maybe I can come. Maybe just you can come with me, Sergeant Hobbs. Let's just walk together, and maybe I can find you somewhere. There's lots of other people, and they might not like me talking to you yet because they may not trust you. But I'll say that you're good. I'll put in a good word. You know.
I think I'd prefer if
I
Box
could
and
go
Monk
with you, Hobbs, if
came
you
with
want
me.
it.
That
Could
would
go
be
with
good.
you.
I think someone should tell the father where we're going.
I'll tell him.
Okay. Let's go see it.
Will wait for me or?
Actually, Michael, I am going to ask you to roll sense trouble,
Oh,
Sergeant Hobbs.
Here we go again.
where are we? That's trouble.
Good luck, buddy.
I roll something here too, Kai?
Okay, good. Now
Nice.
that's just Hobbs. Hobbs,
Oh.
as you're talking to her, you notice that it looks like there's some walking wounded who are loitering about a tent, you know, by the door of a nearby tent, and you catch them out of the corner of your eye. They seem to be trying to listen into your conversation.
Box. Do you see those?
Yes.
And
Is Monk still here, or has he already gone into the tent?
Monk, you went inside the tent, right?
Yes, I went to the tent.
So it's
Okay.
just Box and I.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't like the look of that Box.
And
So let's get out from here. Let's go directly to the tent. Maybe we could try to don't be seen.
okay.
Let's go
Lead the way,
stealthily.
Patterson. I haven't got any stealth. Lead the way, Patterson.
Okay, you guys are going to go off. Following, Cheery's going to take you to her tent. Inside, Pierre Avoir, Doc Patterson, you are arguing with the nurse, Nurse Ogilvy, and she seems incensed. And she begins to threaten you with a report to the major. And she says that you are being insubordinate. It's midnight, guys, so I think I need to pause it here.
All right.
Good.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Kay.
Now, thank you, guys. Did we all feel we had enough playtime? I mean, did we all feel we had enough opportunities?
Yeah,
Okay.